Live from Darling Stadium, it's Friday Night Football on LSC, your local sports channel. It's the big game.
That's right. It's the game everybody's been waiting for all season long. A game that's normally played about halfway through the season, but for this year, they decided to put it at the end of the year. Both teams going into the playoffs. Hello, everyone. Mike Hauser along with Paul Rowe, Brent Musgrove, Bob Hintz, and Frank Edgar. The Hampton Crabbers will be playing host tonight to the defending district champs, the Phoebus Phantoms. I tell you what, this is a lot of people have been waiting for this game, and it's finally here. Unfortunately, it doesn't count much as far as the district race is concerned, as this is the first time in about 10 years that neither one of these two teams will actually have a chance of winning the district, but they're both going to the playoffs. And tonight's game does have some importance. The winner will be the #1 seed in the Division 5 playoffs that will start next weekend. The loser, from my understanding, will be the 3rd seed, and they will both host games next week. And on a nice, crisp, and cold evening here at Darling Stadium, we're looking for an outstanding game here at Darling Stadium.
And Mike, it's always an important game for these two teams, and it's so important that these gentlemen have come out to the game, painted the word Hampton on their chest, taken their shirts and coats off, and I'll tell you what, it's about 50 degrees out there, so I know they're chilly, and they're sitting right below where we are. And I'll tell you what, this game is the big game.
I mean, their hair is blowing. That's how much the wind's blowing. If you look at the flags on the uprights of the goalpost, they're sticking straight out.
Yes, they are.
So the wind's going to be a factor tonight, probably for one team, and that's the throwing team, which would be Hampton at this point. And I think with Phoebus's running game, that might not be quite as a factor as it would be against when Hampton has the ball offensively.
You wouldn't think so, but we'll have to see. You never know in games like this because, like I said, this is the big game. And everybody's got opinions about this game. All week long, you're hearing opinions from one side and another. Everybody has opinions. And, Mike, this week, we went to Walt's Barber Shop to get the opinions of some of the patrons at Walt's. And we're going to go take a look at that clip right now, but I got to let you know that the opinions expressed in this clip at Walt's Barber Shop are those of the patrons of Walt's Barber Shop, not necessarily those of LSC. So let's go to Walt's Barber Shop and see the opinions for this big game.
From Big Walt's Barbershop on Armstead Avenue, this is an LSC special. Today we're going to talk with Big Walt all about the Hampton Phoebus game coming up Friday night. We're going to shoot a little pool here, and I got my buddy Bob Killen's going to help out. He said he can take care of Walt. Walt says no way. In fact, he says he's got number red ball up here, #3. And why is that, Walt?
That's representing Hampton High School, that red ball right there. And this is what we're going to do to them this Friday night. We're going to hit them, and we're going to hit them hard.
Hold on. You got the cue ball in there. All right, Bobby, it's your turn to hit. Walt, let's talk a little bit about some of those guys over at Hampton.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know you're going to play them tough. But you got some good athletes over there. Let's talk a little bit about Deion Newsom.
Deion Newsom. That's the wide receiver.
Second year over there, a second generation.
Okay. Yeah, his father, Jock. No, that's Jamal.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now I remember his name now. Yeah, he's a wide receiver, and they got a new quarterback that they brought in from Verona, and they've been getting the ball. They've been connecting a little bit. So we gonna set him down though. We got Roach for him.
All right. We'll talk a little bit about Mr. Roach.
Mr. Roach, we call it Roach Island. he controlled Roach Island. You don't catch nothing on Roach Island. He protect that whole island down there. So pretty much I think he's gonna set Newsom down.
Well, Deion's pretty good, but he also got another wide receiver, Jamal Brown.
Jamal Brown, yeah, he was the quarterback earlier during the season while the other dude was out hurt. Jamal nice, Jamal good, but like I said, anything on Roach side of the field, shut down. I really don't think they're going to have much time to throw the ball.
Well, that's my next question is you got a young man by Boombox who loves to hit.
Boom!
We're talking about Boombox Lyles.
Yeah, Boombox. Matter of fact, he was in the day's paper. Boom, he come from a family full of football players. All of them, daddy played. He got about, it's actually 12 of them.
12 of them?
12 of them. I think it's about 6 or 7 guys.
We got 2 guys on the 2 teams that their daddies played. Now, Todd Summers played at Hampton. His son is playing at Phoebus.
At Phoebus.
And then, of course, Deion Newsom and his daddy played at Hampton also. So you got a little rivalry going on here.
Yeah. You almost want to be mad about it, that your son played for that team, but you got to support him, though. Because I talk to Todd all the time. Matter of fact, he was at the last game, and he was talking about his son playing for Phoebus. And he'll crabble to the heart, but he behind the son 100. No doubt about that.
Well, talk a little bit about those two running backs that Hampton has, the Bellamy kid and the Cogdale kid, and of course they bring in this Williams kid off the bench, does a good job. Now there's another guy that plays over for Phoebus. They call him the pancake guy.
Yeah, he monster, the pancake master. I'm gonna get him a necklace with a bottle of syrup on it. He's been making pancakes all year long, up and coming. Check him out. He gonna get on.
What year is he?
Well, just a sophomore.
Sophomore, so he got 2 more years after
10th
this
grade.
year.
Yeah, he making some pancakes. Check him out this week. They're gonna run them Pittman up right behind them, up the middle, and they're gonna score, and ain't nothing they can do about it. It's gonna be rough. Pittman, we've been trying to compare him to Antoine Womack. Hard runner, aggressive, strong runner. They ain't been running him like he should. But they said he gonna run the ball this week.
He'll run it this
25, 30 carries a game.
So if I would ask you to give me a prediction, what would you say?
Phoebus 28-14.
28-14.
28-14.
And what about your pool partner there?
This game here?
Yeah, you gonna whip him?
Yeah, this matter of fact, he can hang his stick up.
I tell you what, if you want to get some inside information on the ball players and the ones that's going to Hampton and Kickingham and Phoebus and Bethel, come down to Big Waltz. Bob Hintz, we'll see you later.
That was a good interview. That was a lot of fun.
And once again, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, please remember, the opinions expressed in this clip at Waltz Barbershop are those of the patrons of Waltz Barbershop and not necessarily those of LSC. And you get some great opinions there. I tell you what, Bob has been going there. And if you want to know anything about football in the city, Waltz Barbershop is where you're going to go because he's got the information right there. That's football central for this area.
Let's talk a little bit about the two teams tonight. What do you think? Hampton, they're going to have to throw the ball, I think, in order to be able to do something because I think the Phoebus defensive line might have a thing up their sleeve there to try to stop that running game. And you know, with this wind blowing the way it is, Jeremy Eubank may have a little bit of problems with the throw-ins. But I watched him a little bit during the pregame warm-ups, and he was missing some of his targets. Yeah. So I don't know what kind of a factor the wind has, but the wind is blowing really hard right from east to west.
Well, the wind is going to be a factor, but I'm going to tell you, Mike, this is for this year one of the first years. I'm not sure how this game's going to go. I'm really not. They both have good defenses. They both rely on the running game, and they've got some strong running backs. Phoebus. Has Belfield out there, and they get that young Pittman kid he's a stud. I mean, this guy is just ripped. He hits hard. He plays hard. And then you go to Hampton. They got Cogdale, and they got the new guy, Williams. And we watched him play against Kickingham a couple weeks ago. And this young guy just runs all over the place, runs through people and all over everybody. So it's going to have to be a running game, passing game. I don't know.
Williams has been a total surprise for the Hampton this year. You figured the other two players were kind of mainstays in the last year or two, and of course one of them is a little bit injured right now, so he'll probably just be playing defense tonight. So let's send it down to Bob on the sideline now as he's got a special guest.
All right, thanks, guys. I've got Stan Sexton here with the coach for the Phoebus Phantoms. And, Coach, it's always good to get this time of the year and to start looking for the playoffs, but this is kind of an important game because it's the difference between 1 and 2 seed.
Right, and, I mean, even on top of that, it's always a great game. I mean, anytime you get two teams that is with the history that Hampton has and what we've developed here in the last 10 or 12 years and having this rivalry, it's a lot of fun. You look forward to this all year long, and the kids are excited. I know they're excited on both sides of the ball tonight, so it's just going to be a fun game.
Well, let me ask you just one question about that. This first time you played them last game of the year, do you like that or not?
We got to play it. So at this point, yeah, I like it. We got to play a game. We had to play each other, so I would prefer it to be earlier in the year. But, they decided, it worked out that it happened this time. us playing at the end. So hopefully we don't disappoint anybody.
Let's talk a little bit about some of your players. Boombox Lyles, what a man among boys sometimes out there.
Oh, he's having a great year at linebacker. He's averaging over 11 tackles a game for us. It's been a big force, and he helps us out on offense. He's played some fullback. You know, he's a jack of all trades. We're going to use him as some tight end tonight. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, what he can do. Now, I know he's a solid defensive player, but, you know, he's physical. And, that's a pretty good win. He's physical, and, you know, they got a great offensive line over there, and it's going to be a good challenge for us.
All right, how about this Mark Wilson kid? This young man, just a junior, but he's really stepped up.
Yeah, Mark's done an incredible job for us this year. You know, he's playing both sides of the ball. He's playing tackle. He's not a huge kid. He's got some height on him. He's about 200 pounds, but probably our most strongest kid on the team. He's a workaholic in the weight room. He's got great speed. He works hard. He's he's one of these underclassmen that's going to be a great leader for us in the future. So we're hoping he has a good night tonight.
All right, now Troy Pittman, the last guy I want to talk to you about. This young man, Paul Rowe was over to see his doctor, and he said, I saw him over there. He says, boy, is this kid ripped.
Yeah, you know, some kids have it. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of those that ended up with being blessed that way. But, you know, he's a real good young man, strong runner, very, very physical runner. You know, sometimes he's too physical, and we try to get him. Look, you know, sometimes you need to avoid some tacklers. So, you know, but we're real excited. We're going to have him back next year, and just very excited about, you know, what we have out here this year and what we got coming back next year.
All right, one last question, Coach. What do you expect from the Crabbers tonight?
I expect a very physical game. I expect them to try to, you know, attack us to our weak side a little bit, and try to get the ball, have the Eubanks throw the ball down the field, try to get some big plays against our secondary.
All right, well, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good. All right, guys, back up to the booth.
Bob, as always, the Crabbers come in here tonight 8-2 overall, 7-2 in the district, and the Phoebus Phantoms 9-1 overall, 8-1 in the district. And like I said earlier, this game means enough to signify the number 1 versus the number 3 seed in the region. And I guess you both say that, you know, they're going to both have home games next week. So right. Either one that wins. This game is not really for anything other than pride. They both want to win this game.
Sure they
do.
It's
the rivalry.
This is the big game.
This is the big game. It's the game that everybody's been waiting on.
And speaking of the rivalry is here again this year. As you know, in previous years, the rivalry series, the Great American Rivalry Series, has come here to Darling Stadium for this game, and they count that as one of the biggest rivalries in high school football in the area. And you'll be seeing them later on. And they're sponsored by the Marines, and they will be here all throughout the game.
They'll present a Most Valuable Player award at the end of the game for a player on either team that is voted by the, I guess a lot of us up here have ballots, so we'll be putting that in too. So let's send it down to the sidelines now where Brent has his special guest.
Coach, head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers, 7-2 this year, 427 victories and about 66 losses and a couple of ties. Nobody's going to catch that, Coach. But here we are back at a rivalry again, Phoebus-Hampton. This is what the fans wait all year for. I don't care what else happens anywhere else. When this game comes around, you start looking at the stands, and this is where they come. Don't know how you kept it together for 41 years. Don't want to talk about that too much, but this game tonight, Coach, the paper's been talking about a player we've talked about before when he played quarterback for you, and that's Newsom. If you will, he plays wide receiver, linebacker, returner. He's played quarterback, flanker, running back, just about every position but down lineman. What is this? What does this young man mean to your team this year with all the ability and places he's filled up?
I think more than anything, just his presence at practice and on the field during the game. He's a tremendous kid. I mean, he just brings a lot of enthusiasm, extremely hard worker. He's a great kid, you know. He's chip off the block there, his daddy, you know. I tell you what, he got the big old shoes trying to get in. His daddy was a great player. His daddy one of the toughest that ever played around here. And but he's done his own, and the little one down there, he might be better than all of them before he gets through Dez. But Deion's a good, but he's a good kid.
So he's got a good spirit, always up on the team?
Oh, yeah. Great kid, you know.
Well, let's talk about...
Still like to play a little bit, you know. I mean, and that's good, you know. At the right time, it's great. So Deion's a great young man.
Well, the game's still fun to him, 15, 16-year-olds.
If it's not fun to anybody, need to get out of it.
Let's talk about another junior that's really come a long way from, and that's Moore, Daquan Moore.
Well, Daquan Moore started... his first game was against Woodside. First game of the year here about 3 years ago as a freshman. So he carries a big load. I mean, he plays both ways. He's had some really good games. Had a bad moment against Woodside once this year, but he's a great kid and just works hard. Catches ball in traffic. Plays well on defense. Good kid. He's another kid. Just, you know, he's a good kid. Good bunch of kids to coach. They're fun kids.
Coach, I want to go to something that was talked about back when they had the drawing. This is my last question about the seedings for the teams when they play this year. This game between you and Phoebus, going into the playoffs, it's a tough game. You guys have both teams coming there ready to play. What can this game mean to both of you teams going into the playoffs next week?
Well, you know, if you let this team, the teams that you're playing, either ourselves or Phoebus, if you let yourself get too focused on this game, it's kind of like a death threat because it comes in, you know. It's not the first time we've been in this situation. We used to play Bethel last every year, and that game was a huge game, you know. I mean, there's been so many of them that ended up in a win for us, and some of them that we lost. Back in those days, you could have a tie. We actually ended up tied a couple of times. But win, lose, or draw. I mean, people are going to talk about it all week. They're up if you win. They're down if you lose. They're frustrated if you tie. So I think you got to, if you play this last game, you kind of got to put this thing in the same perspective do the rest of the games. I mean, it can't be too much focus. I mean, it's a great game to play. They play really good football. Good football team, well coached. So, you know, that's the type of games you like to play. That's what football's about. But you can't let this thing just take over, because if it does, it'll screw you up. Screw both of us up for next week. Yeah, both of us obviously going to be in the playoffs. One of us going to end up having a better seed than the other. But, you know, whatever happens, you just got to leave it on the field tonight. And
too much hype, too far to fall. Is that what you're saying? Well, if you get too much hype on this game?
You know, you can't change your practices, and you can't change your focus on one game, at least in my way of thinking. So this week has been another week for us. Hasn't been any different than what we prepared for Kickintown last week or the week before. It's not that we don't respect them, but at this time of year, you can either play or you can't play. And you just don't want to carry it over. If you carry it over, then you're in trouble on either side, win or lose.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a great season. We're looking forward to the playoffs. And thank you so much for coming over to talk to us tonight.
Yeah,
all right, guys, we'll send it back up to you. We'll send it.
Well,
back up here, and I tell you what, good interviews with the coaches tonight. They both just let it out, let everybody know what was going on, and gave us some good info on some of those players they got.
And I just want to say something right here, and you said it was a good interview, and it always is a good interview. We have Brent Musgrove and we have Bob Hintz. Every time we have a game before the games, they get down with the coaches and talk to them, and they've got some wonderful interviews with these coaches, and I want to thank both of them for what they've done for all these years.
And let's send it back down there as the two of them are together discussing the final strategic efforts for tonight's game, and let's see what they have to say.
Bob, Hampton, Phoebus. Don't get no better than this.
Hey, this is what it's all about, isn't it?
It don't matter if they come in here 5-5 or 7-1 or whatever it is. When this game gets here, this is the game the fans wait for all year.
And we're going to see some different things tonight. I got to talk to Stan Sexton earlier in the week, and they're going to play a little man-to-man, which they haven't done much this year, because they're going to come up the middle and try to put some heat on Eubanks, make him uncomfortable, make him move out of the pocket because he's not the swiftest guy. And I think if we can hit him a few times and he knows we're coming, you know how that works in your mind.
Well, isn't that kind of a philosophy for any quarterback?
Absolutely.
If you can get him dancing instead of standing still and throwing. But Phoebus is famous for that anyway. And when they play Stonebridge, they do a lot of the same things. They're going to put pressure on the passing quarterback. And you and I both knew coming in, if you're going to get Hampton off its box, you've got to get that quarterback moving. Because if you let him stand 3.5, 4 seconds, he can pick you apart.
And he will pick you apart. And I've watched him do that early this year. But I was talking to Stan here. 2 players on Hampton team that worry him. Deion Newsom, and you were talking to Coach about that. I just heard part of that. But what a great athlete this guy is, because he can make so many things happen. And Christopher Flood. Now, Frank Edgar talked about Christopher Flood, how much he has improved from last year in the game that we did last couple weeks ago. And, these 2 guys really concern Stan because they can do so many things, and they can hurt you when you least expect it.
Yeah. Newsom, of course, we've talked about offense or defense. He can put points on the board at any point. He can take it out of your quarterback's hand and go with it, or he's out. He's one of the best receivers in the district.
Right.
And he plays linebacker, and he's very quick to the hole. So I understand that. One thing Hampton might be dealing with tonight, Bellamy is injured. He's been injured actually since the first game of the season, and we saw him go out last week in the first quarter. So you're going to see a change in their backfield as far as what's actually starting, and that's going to be Williams and Cogdill are going to start on the offense this time. And I think Mike always going to try to establish that running game first, and then go to the pass if he can get it there.
Well, a lot of people complain because he didn't pass that much last week. But when you talk to him, he said, why do I want to pass? We're up by 14 points. We want to run the clock.
And that's exactly what he said. He said, we got 7 of our points off of them. I don't want to give them the chance to get 7 back off of us.
Right.
So you got a 14-point lead, and it was very obvious his defense was stop and kick it in. So why give them an opportunity? As you've often said, it's only one good thing out of 3 things that can happen with a pass. So why put it up there?
Right. And one other thing that the Phoebus we may see tonight, a little more option, especially when Tyler's at quarterback, because he's a real quick guy. He can run the ball, so you might see some option that we haven't seen from Phoebus all night long.
Well, I think this is going to be the first time we've actually seen for the TV screen that Anderson's not going to be back there at quarterback.
Well, no, he's going to start. Probably
he is going to come in?
Start. Yeah,
okay.
He probably will start, but he's not going to play the whole game. I just don't think he's got a groin pull. He will not punt, will not kick off.
Well, Mike, we've talked about it and talked it to death. They're going to talk it some more. Now all that's left to do is to see how this thing turns out, so we'll know where we'll be next week. So why don't you finish it up?
Well, I tell you, what's really going to happen is in the trenches again, and that's going to happen. But, I've been watching our crew, and, I watch Andy Foley and I watch Gene. They go to get all the food from our sponsors. And, talking about sponsors, hey, let's go to our sponsors.
Good idea.
Today's game is sponsored by the Grey Goose Restaurant, located on West Queens Way in Hampton. Enjoy the wide selection of breakfast and lunch dishes, sure to please your appetite. Follow the Grey Goose Restaurant on Facebook, the restaurant that's also a bakery. Coliseum Central. Coliseum Central is located right in the heart of Hampton Roads, between Armistead Avenue and Interstate 64. You can take care of all your shopping, dining, entertainment, medical, and business needs right here. Who will represent you? Hampton athletes use Made Men Management because it's the best sports agency in the best area for sports. Rico's Pizza, located at 55 West Mercury Boulevard in the Langley Square Shopping Center. Rico's Pizza is sure to hit the spot after the game. Call 723-6850 today to place your order. Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in the Oyster Point section of Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports is your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. Sponsored in part by attorneys at Kaufman & Knowles, with offices in Hampton on Cunningham Drive across from Peninsula Town Center and in Newport News at City Center. Kaufman & Knowles. We can and we will. Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, located at 2552 North Armistead Avenue. The funeral director is Vernon Kruger. Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home inside and out. Eric Thompson, Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3127 or email him at eric@findhrhomes.com.
All right, back up here, and as you're seeing, it looks like this is senior night for the Crabbers as they're announcing all their seniors before the game starts. It's this is a game we've all been looking forward to all year, and it's live. It's live here at Darling Stadium. It is November the 4th, 2011.
And it's cold.
It's cold.
It's windy. And we've got great crowds out here tonight on both sides of the field. There you see a little bit of the Phoebus crowd on the other side.
Why don't we take the time, since we've got it now, to go ahead and give the starting lineups for both teams, and we won't have to rush them. What do you think?
That would be up to the truck.
Okay, well, if that's something these guys would like to do, we could go ahead and do that. As the crowd continues, well, they haven't done the coin flip yet, so I figured. Which team would you like to give first tonight?
Well, if we're going to do that, let's go ahead and start with the Hampton High School offense, since they are the home team, and we could always do that. So here we go, the starting lineup for the Hampton High School Crabbers. Tackle number 53, Keenan McAllister. Guard number 60, Harrington Bazemore. Center number 66, Dante Wilson. Guard number 67, Malik Brown. And tackle number 62, Troy Garrett. The tight end, number 1, Daquan Moore. The split end, number 2, Jamal Brown. And the flex, number 5, Deion Newsom. In the backfield, the quarterback will be number 10, Jeremy Eubank. The running back, number 42, Marshawn Williams. And the fullback, number 32, Dallas Cogdell. That's the Hampton offense, and in just a second, we'll take a look at the Phoebus defense. See how they're going to play it tonight. For the Phantoms on defense, the tackle number 54, Kevin Lyles. The tackle number 66, Jamar Jackson. The ends, number 10, Miles Givers, along with number 74, Mark Wilson. The linebackers, inside linebackers, number 7, Justin Boom Boom Lyles. Number 51, Matthew Jenkins. The outside linebackers, number 11, Isaiah Jones-Clark. And number 27, Jawantez Featherstone. In the secondary, the cornerbacks, number 2, Deshaun Summers. And number 15, Tyler Adams. And the safety, number 9, Davon Robinson.
Now playing of the national anthem of the Hampton High School Band.
Now let's listen to the national anthem as the Hampton High School Band will be performing. So the Phoebus offense, what do you think?
All right, let's go with the Phoebus offense here. When they're not on defense, this is how they'll line up with the ball. The tackle will be number 66, Jamar Jackson. The guard, number 62, Rakeemus Jackson. The center, number 51, Matthew Jenkins. The guard, number 78, Walt Brantley. And the tackle, number 74, Mark Wilson. The receiving core, the tight end number 7, Justin Boombox Lyles. The split end number 27, Juantez Featherson. The flanker number 84, Ramon DeLoach. In the backfield, the quarterback number 4, Eric Anderson. The fullback number 40, Drayvon Badger. And the running back number 21, Desmond Belfield. And when Phoebus is on offense, Hampton will be on defense. And the defense for the Crabbers at tackles, number 62, Troy Garrett, and 32, Dallas Cogdell. The ends, number 66, Dante Wilson, and number 72, Jomel Red. The linebackers, number 20, Kayvon Bellamy, number 12, Dante Kitchings, number 55, Christopher Flood, number 5, Deion Newsom. And the secondary cornerbacks, number 2, Jamal Brown, and number 9, Desmond Jenneret, and the safety, number 1, Daquan Moore. Those are the lineups for the Hampton High School Crabbers and the Phoebus High School Phantoms for tonight's game.
And we'll show the officials as they are bringing the captains on to the center of the field for the coin toss. And there they are. It's Ted Albers, the referee. Brian Harried is the umpire. John Lewis is the lineman. Mike Hextall is the line judge. Floyd Pauling is the side judge. Warren Hall is the field judge, and Donald Foreman is the back judge. Those are the officials for the game as we get ready to flip the coin out there at the center of the field. Let's listen in.
Okay, gentlemen, my name is Mr. Albert. I'll be the referee for this evening's game. Mr. Herron, gentlemen, Mr. Pauling, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Hall, Mr. Hextall, and Mr. Foreman will be the other officials for this evening's game. Okay, gentlemen, a few things I want to go over first. Okay, you guys are the captains of your team. We expect you to act like captains and enforce sportsmanship among your teammates at all times. Okay, when you make a good tackle, get up, push up off the ground. Okay? You all want to have fun out here. The best way to have fun out here is to respect the game of football, respect your opponents, and most importantly, respect yourselves. Okay, gentlemen? Phoebus is a visiting team. We did a pregame toss earlier. We're going to simulate it now. Okay? Here we go. Tails is called, and it's tails. We won the toss. Correct? Phoebus has won the toss and it elected to defer their choice for the second half. You want the ball? You want to defend that goal. Step back here with me.
So that's how we're going to start it off, as the Hampton Crabbers will be on the offense and they will be defending the west end zone. Well, the rivalry is here as we begin to play this game here at Darling Stadium. See who's the number 1 seed in the Division 5.
Well, I can guarantee
playoffs.
One thing. It will probably be one of these two teams or somebody else. But I think it's going to be one of these two teams.
Now, the winner of this game will be the number 1 seed, and the loser will be the number 3 seed. They both will have home games next week, as scheduling, I think, is still up in the air right now. I know they'll have a game on Friday night, and I think the discussion is the other game will be played on Saturday, because it looks as though Woodside, who won the district title last night, beating Bethel, will have a home game Friday night at Todd Stadium.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the two teams as they enter the field ready to play this game. Again, it is November the 20th, 2011. You're at Darling Stadium live with LSC as we bring you the big rivalry between the Hampton High School Crabbers and the Phoebus Phantoms. There are the two men back for the Hampton Crabbers. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll let you know right now that the numbers on the Crabbers jerseys are a little difficult to see from where we are. So please bear with us as we go throughout the game, trying to figure out what these numbers are.
Well, this is Dylan Crimp, the kicker for the Phantoms, as the wind has affected the game already before the opening kickoff, as it blew the ball right off the tee.
The sideline of the Crabbers as they line up, ready to start this game off. Both teams hyped up this week. To them, it's a big game, but it is a game, and that's the thing. They're prepared for every game they play. Here it is.
Near side at about the 11-yard line, the Crabbers will bring it back there. Nice play on a tackle right there.
That looked like Phoebus's number 11, Isaiah Jones-Clark, who brought the runner down. A decent kick. Not too bad of a return as he picks up about, what, Mike, was that 10 yards or so?
Started it at 11, so they're at the 13. They give him 12 yards on the return as the Crabbers will start 1st and 10. And I believe the runner was Daquan Moore, number 1.
13-yard return puts the ball at the 23-yard line. Here's the first play of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's Hampton and Phoebus, November the 4th, 2011.
Eubanks hands the ball off to the lead back up the middle, gets near the 24, and he's bottled up right there at the line of scrimmage.
Phantoms firing off the line that time, going right to the middle of the pack. They know that Hampton is going to try the middle of their line and see if they can soften it up a little bit or find a seam there. The Phantoms were having none of that. They plugged every hole and every gap that time, and the runner goes nowhere.
Gain of a little more than a yard on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and about 9.
Phoebus's defense on the front line. Kevin Lyles, Jamar Jackson, Miles Givers, as we watch the replay. Look at them come in there. They just plugged that hole. You saw on the screen, it looked like number 54, Kevin Lyles, plugging the right gap there and hitting the runner.
A lot of time they're spending here. Eubanks under center. And there's the delay game call.
Part of the snap. Delay. Offense, 5 yards. 2nd down.
Instead of 2nd down and 9, it's now 2nd and 14. Ball back down
off the bat.
It just looked like it took way too much time to get the play into the game. Banks again under center. Fakes the handoff, rolls around, hits the lead swing pass to the left side, is actually dropped.
That looked like number 32 for the Crabbers, and I believe that's Cogdell out on the side, hitting right in the hands.
Exactly who it is.
And just couldn't hold on to that one.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and long now for the Crabbers.
Dallas Cogdell for the Crabbers, 6'2", 222 pounds. If he could get his hands on that one and bring it down, he might be able to turn and get a few more yards. Good little pass play on that particular series there to try and get a few yards.
There's a quick pass. It was knocked down by Jeremy. Let's see, it was knocked down by Miles Givers.
Miles Givers, number 10. There was a nice idea on Eubanks' part to throw that quick little pass. They had the Phoebus defense spread out. Of course, they were too as we watch it on the replay here. Eubanks just stands right up, throws a quick pass. Look at the ups and the arms of Givers there on the right-hand side. He had a good chance of bringing that one in almost and creating an interception.
Curtis Staub now in to punt the ball away for the Crabbers. Kicking into the strong wind. That should give Phoebus good field position. It bounces down and is down at the Phantom 49-yard line. So the Phantoms will take over 1st and 10 in excellent field position to start their first drive. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
So on the first series of downs for the Hampton Crabbers with the wind, who knows? I see the right-hand side goalpost with the flags flying to my right, and on the left-hand side, the flags are flying to the left. So, Mike, you look at them and tell me which way the wind's blowing. I'm trying to figure that out. There it is right there, folks. You get the left-hand side right there going one way and the right-hand side going the other way.
And up the middle to Pittman. Nothing doing there. He looks like he might pick up a yard out to midfield.
Swarming defense in there that time by the Crabbers. Kayvon Bellamy, number 22, along with Jomel Red and a few other of the Crabbers. This is going to be a tough game, ladies and gentlemen, as we watch this replay. Hampton is clogging that middle as well. They're standing up the offensive line of the Phantoms to find out where the runner's going, and then they're just sliding off their block and bringing the runner down.
Ooh, oh, nice hit in the backfield that time. Ball's handed off to Belfield and nothing there. He's going to lose about 4 yards on the play.
I'm going to say that looked again like number 24, the Crabbers, Kayvon Bellamy. Watch this as Phantoms just give a slide, and nobody blocked Bellamy. You saw him come off the side there, and he wraps up the running back for the Phantoms, number 21, Belfield, in the backfield. Nobody blocked him at all.
Third down and about 13. Ball is fumbled. The quarterback this time now, by the way, is Tyler Adams, as Anderson is not in the game right now. And that's going to be a loss of a couple on the play. And both teams start out their opening possessions losing 4 yards.
Great shot by our cameraman there as you saw the quarterback Adams with the ball for about 2 seconds. Then he dropped it. Cogdale was all over him at that point and nothing they could do.
Well, I tell you what, we have an unusual situation here. The Phoebus Phantoms are lined up in the punting formation.
But there's one problem,
there was one person missing. It happened to be the punter, who normally is Anderson. But I understand Anderson is not going to be doing any kicking tonight because of that pulled muscle, and Phantoms will have to use a timeout here.
Now, that was just one of those things where they forgot that Anderson was not punting and they need to get somebody in there to kick the ball. Everybody else lined up like they were supposed to, and you assume that the punter's going to go in there and do what he does, but hey, all of a sudden they look back there and we can hear the coaches yelling up here, call time, there's no punter, call time.
8:52 to go in the opening period of play. Both teams offensively have a total of a -4 yards.
Well, at least that's a start. Defense. And like I was going to say earlier in that first series, Hampton tried to run, tried a little pass, tried to short out. They had the wind at their back. They were going to use that with Eubanks at quarterback to see if they could get anything through the air. This time, Phoebus with the ball. They're going to keep it on the ground. They're going against the wind.
Looks like Jenneret, number 9, and Newsom, number 5, deep for Hampton. Punter is Tyler Adams. He's lined up back at his own 30. End over end kick. Newsom at the 25, brings it to the near side, cuts it back up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, and there's a flag. Coaching staff of Hampton is not happy right now because they didn't think there was a foul there, and the flag was thrown. And it's thrown all the way back at the 30, so that's going to cost the Crabbers about 15 yards.
I missed it, but I'm guessing it's either going to be a hold or a block in the back, one or the other. It's a nice return by Newsom. And Mike, we saw him a couple weeks ago in the kick-a-tan game, and this young kid really does a fantastic job.
Yeah, did get a block in the back, so that one does go against the Crabbers. 10-yard penalty, that'll put it.
Illegal block in the back on the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Crabbers will take over for the second possession here in the first quarter. Play first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Great field level shot right there, ladies and gentlemen, as these two teams line up head to head.
Banks again under center. Pitch to the near side on a sweep, and he falls down as he loses 2 yards on the play.
That was number 5, Newsom again. I tell you, Mike, they use this kid everywhere. Defense, offense. He's just a fantastic athlete. They were trying him on the end around that time, and the only thing that stopped him from gaining a few yards was the fact that he slipped. There were a lot of Phoebus defenders over there. We don't know what would have happened, but look at him as he comes across right here. When he plants, he falls.
Also 3 on the play. That'll make it second down and 13 as each offense seems to be going in the wrong direction at this time.
Well, you know, when you got two powerhouses out there, it's like two champion boxers. You got to figure out what's going on here, and it takes a while sometimes.
Field looks like it might be a little bit on the wet side tonight. There's a lot of the slipping and sliding going on. And officials timeout as we have a problem with somebody's, looks like their helmet.
Earlier today, we had rain starting in the morning, and it lasted till, I guess, just a little after noon today. So we got a little bit of a wet field. But again, this crew out here does a super job.
intercepted by number 7.
Guess who that is? Newspaper boy.
Yeah, Justin Lyles.
Ball,
what a great defensive play that time as the ball was, I mean, he actually jumped up to intercept that ball.
When I say newspaper boy, I mean he's the one that was in the newspaper. And, you know, there you are. You're featured in the newspaper. And here's why. Here's exactly why. You're the type of person that can make that big play to turn it around. As we watch a great shot from our camera crew.
Intended for Daquan Moore. So the Phantoms, after the Crabber turnover, have the ball 1st and 10 at Hampton's 27-yard line. Henderson back in there, and that's number 5 going to carry Anthony Pittman. He's going to pick up maybe 2 on the play as he gets down to around the 25.
That's one of the few runs so far that has picked up any positive yardage today.
2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8.
Phantom's got great field opportunity right here as the ball's on the 25-yard line of the Crabbers after the interception by Justin Lyles. You see the shot from of the crowd on the Phoebus, Hampton side. I'll get it right here in a second. Hampton side.
Henderson is the quarterback. Hands the ball off to the deep back this time. He's down near the 20.
I believe that was number 5 again, Pittman.
Pittman on the run. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 for the Phantoms.
Tony Pittman, a junior, as he gets the handoff here off the right side. A nice hole to go through. 2 good blocks down there to open that up, and then Pittman picking up the yardage for the Phantoms. There we have a shot of the Marines, part of the Great American Rivalry Series.
Flags on the play. Looks like somebody might have moved a little early.
Punt and snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard. 3rd down.
Instead of 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 8 again.
Third down.
That'll move it back to the 25 again. Hampton in their black and red uniforms tonight, November the 4th, 2011. Phoebus in their white with blue numbers. Phoebus right now going from right to left on your screen.
In the I formation, 2 wideouts to the near side. Raymond Deloach inside, and a fumble on the play as Anderson came up behind center and didn't have the ball and falls on it. He'll lose about a yard back to about the 26-yard line. So here we go again, going backwards.
Yep. And watch this. One of our cameramen was right on the ball. You'll see the snap here. Anderson loses it, and there it is right there, and you see him scramble to get right on top of it again. Great field level shot. Great knowledge of what was going on that play right there. Good shot for
the Phantoms are going to attempt a long field goal. Number 52 on the play, and it's Dylan Crimp. Dylan, I'm sorry. 43-yard attempt as the ball will be set down at the 33. I believe it was partially blocked, but it's way short.
I'm not sure it was blocked, but it definitely was short.
Yeah, the Crabber player came in there. I didn't know whether he might have possibly got a piece of it. Was that Flood that did that?
Looks like number 55, like Flood, got part of that one then.
So field goal is short, no good, and that gives Hampton the ball back 1st and 10 at their 20.
Here's the replay of that attempted field goal. It's a little bit of a low kick, but look at number 55 getting right there. Yeah, nice shot. Flood came across, dove, got just enough of that ball to keep it low. So the Crabbers are going to take over deep in their own territory. And it's their turn to move the ball now.
Banks in the I formation under the center, hands the ball off to Williams up the middle, a little bit of hole there. He'll get outside near the 30. Looks like they're going to have the first down of the game by either team, as it looks like he picks up about 10 yards on the play.
This is a kid you got to watch here tonight, Mike. This is Marshawn Williams. He started playing earlier in the year, and he's just a sophomore. But he is tough, he's tight, and he can run. He finds the seam. He'll get right through there, as you see right. Good block right there. Nice block. You saw him move to the left, and he's able to pick up about 4 or 5 more yards.
In the I formation, here's Williams again up the middle. He might get a yard to the 31, and that's it, as the Phantom defense held pretty good. Looked like Justin Lyles on the stop for the Phantoms.
Justin Lyles was in there along with number 51, Matthew Jenkins, and they filled that hole very quickly. It looked like there might be a little bit of an opening there for Marshawn Williams as we see the replay. But the pursuit of the Phantoms made that hole shorten up and close up quickly. Good defense. And I think that's what we're going to see tonight as we see Susan Bowers up there all wrapped up in the cold air. I think we're going to see a big defensive struggle tonight.
Offset eye this time. Hand the ball off to the up back, and he breaks free to the 40, and that's enough for a Crabber first down.
And Mike, that's Dallas
like that's
Cogdell.
32, yeah.
That's Cogdell. And this is what happened 2 weeks ago when they played Kickingham. They would run Williams, run Williams, run Williams. Eubanks would throw a couple little short passes, and then all of a sudden, boom, they give Cogdell the ball. He busts through there like you'll see him do on this replay here. And once he gets into the secondary, the linebackers are split to either side. He just takes up off the middle, and he went for about 30 yards twice 2 weeks ago, and that's basically the same play.
First and 10 now for the Crabbers at the 40. Here's Williams, and nothing going there as the Phantoms had that one bottled up. He's going to lose a yard back to about the 39.
Boombox and Miles Givers right there were on that one, and just, they were in there before the Hampton offensive line could even stand up to block.
With a loss of a yard on the play, that brings up second down and 11 for the Crabbers.
Look at this shot from the top there. Look how quick that Lyles gets in there. I mean, he just pushed the offensive lineman. I mean, just grabbed him and pushed him right out of the way.
Wide open over there. Going to pick up about 8 on the play. Cannot see the number on the player, to be honest with you. I mean, looking at the monitor, it's hard to see the number sometimes. We apologize for having a difficult time seeing numbers on these uniforms.
It was not number 2, Jamal Brown.
Nice fake by Eubank on the play.
Number 32 is Cogdell again, coming out of the backfield.
That's the same play earlier that he dropped. This time he made the catch.
But he slipped.
And this makes it third down and about 3 now for the Crabbers. They have the ball at their own 47, so this is the first sustained drive by either offense tonight.
Well, they're trying to move that Phoebus defense around and find out where they can find something that will open for them. They're running to the inside. They're throwing the short little passes to the outside. They're working on that left side of the line, which is the Phoebus right side of the line. But
timeout is called by the Crabbers.
So
with the minute 53. Yeah, minute 53 to go in the first quarter. No score here at Darling Stadium. Each team has used a timeout.
There you see the replay on that.
All right, here we go as the Crabbers are back on the field now. It looks like a little wing formation here. This might be a little wildcat here. Direct snap and nothing going there as the Phantoms had that one bottled up big time.
I think they knew that Cogdell was going to get that one because they get in a wildcat lineup like that. He's the big man in the backfield. He's either going to go up the middle or take it to the right and follow everybody else. And he tried to take it up the middle, and nobody was there.
So that'll bring up a 4th down and 4 as he lost about a half a yard on the play, as the Crabbers will have to go in and punt now. Curtis Staub is the kicker. He will drop back. He will drop back to about the 35-yard line. Kicking into that strong wind tonight. Not a bad kick. to the near side. It bounces at the 32-yard line. I tell you what, number 15 on that play, Tyler Adams, had the whole Hampton team fooled on that one. The ball was kicked to the near side hash mark. He was standing over at the far side hash mark, called fair catch. And the ball's landing way over here.
I thought that was pretty good. That's what I was smiling and laughing at. There you see the replay.
The Phantoms will take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Anderson back in, 2 wide outs to the near far side. There's a handoff.
Elfield, number 21, gets
21,
the ball.
yep, to the far side. He's going to pick up maybe a yard, and that's about it.
Good pursuit by the Hampton Crabber defense that time as they just went along the line, and you'll see that pursuit right here on the replay as Anderson goes to his right, gives it off, and then the defense just sliding right along. Boom, grab him before he can make that turn up the field.
2nd down and about 8.5. Anderson again in the behind center in the I formation. Handoff straight up the middle again to Pittman. He's going to get near the 40. Pick up about 4 on the play. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 4 as we come near the end of the first quarter of play. That probably was the last play of the quarter as it's down to 2 seconds now.
And that is the end of the first quarter.
So at the end of the first quarter of play here, no score between the Hampton Crabbers and the Phoebus Phantoms.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching LSC Live as we bring you tonight's game between the Hampton Crabbers and the Phoebus Phantoms. And we're going to take it down to Bob where he's got some information for us from on the field. Bob?
Thanks, guys. I've got Major Benjamin Sanders here, and Major, great rivalry, but talk to me a little bit about this great American rivalry series.
Well, it's something we like to do just to get out and be amongst the people. We come here every year, and you know, these are 2 great teams. We just like to be out with the young folks, see them out here, you know, playing hard and doing good things, being athletic, and you know, it's a community event, so we like to be here.
Well, I know you did something with scholarships. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's a scholarship athlete or a scholar athlete from each team, and they come out at the beginning of the game, and we give them a little scholarship so that you know, just kind of encourage them to go on and succeed in life.
Well, this is a great community thing, but with the military and the Marines doing this thing, it's got to be a tremendous amount of pride for you guys. You're just almost the same crew you had last year.
That's right. That's right. About 75% of the guys are still here from last year, and you know, we remember how cold it was and what it was like last year, and good times.
Not as windy, though.
No, not as windy.
He's having trouble holding his hand. Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
And off that time to number 5, I believe it was Pittman again, but this time nothing going as Christopher Flood just bottled that one right up.
I tell you what, Mike, Chris Flood was right in there. He was almost the part of the backfield, it seemed like, because he just brought that runner down with a hard hit.
He'll lose about 2 on the play, and that'll bring up a 4th down and about 7 now as the Crabbers will stand back at their own 33-yard line. Here's the punt to the near side, and it'll bounce right straight out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Oh, they didn't get a very good mark on that ball. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I missed that one, but
that official's at least a yard and a half further back than where the ball actually went out.
42.
So the Crabbers will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. This is Hampton's best starting field position of the game.
And again, wind a little bit of a factor here as it's tough to kick against.
Well, they've got it to their back now. 1st and 10. Newsom split to the near side. Back to pass over the middle, wide open. And just overthrown as it was intended for number 1, Daquan Moore.
And Eubank had this same problem, Mike, when he was going against Kickingham a couple of weeks ago and missing some of the receivers that were wide open. Now, Phoebus, I heard Bob and Brent talking about the fact that they were going to go into this man-to-man defense, and that time somebody wasn't covering somebody, and he got behind the backers, and he was wide open. A little bit.
Needs to lay the ball up there a little bit more so to give your runner time to get underneath of it. It was, it was too low of a pass, and it was just overthrown.
Bob, what happened on that one?
All right, well, Coach Smith was really upset because he, like Mike said, he threw the ball too flat. He needed to put the ball in there and let the kid run underneath it. And that's what Mike was really upset with the quarterback on that. But you have to understand, this wind is really something else. When I was talking to Stan Sexton, the wind almost blew him over. I mean, that's a heavy wind, buddy.
It is.
By the snap. False start. Offense, 5 yards. Second down.
Well, that'll make a second 15 now as the ball comes back to the 37-yard line. They're going to mark it at 36. Yeah, so there you go. Move it back up where it belongs.
Eubanks 1 for 5 with 1 interception and 8 yards passing today. 3 penalties for the Crabbers so far for a total of 20 yards.
3 wide outs this time. 2 of them and 2 players back here in the back to protect them. And he is hit hard by the Phantoms, number 66 on the play.
Lamar Jackson, the tackle. I mean, he was hit, folks, but he slipped. I mean, he goes back. He's trying to set, and when he tries to set, he just kind of loses his footing. And by the time he loses it, gets back up, bam! He is nailed by Jamar Jackson.
A third down and about 22 now for the Crabbers. Ball's all the way back on their own 30-yard line, and they were back doing what they did at the beginning of the first quarter, and they're going in the wrong direction.
Going backwards.
So now the Crabbers will call a second timeout here.
And ladies and gentlemen, the second quarter of today's game is sponsored by the Grey Goose Restaurant located on West Queensway in Hampton, along with Rico's Pizza at 55 West Mercury Boulevard in the Langley Square Shopping Center, by Coliseum Central, located right in the heart of Hampton Roads between Armstead Avenue and Interstate 64. Also by Made Men Management, where Hampton athletes use Made Men Management because it's the best sports agency in the best area for sports. And also by Tidewater Team Sports on Cannon Boulevard in the Oyster Point section of Newport News, as well as Beach Hardware, located in 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home inside and out. Those are our sponsors, and Mike, I want to thank all those sponsors for helping us out all year long, as they do almost every year for some of them, and we really appreciate it. Really couldn't bring those games without their help.
Third and 22 now for the Crabbers. Eubanks in the again. It's knocked down by number 10 on the play of the Phantoms,
Miles Givers.
That's twice now he's knocked the ball down.
You know, and I think, and Bob alluded to it a little bit ago when he said that as we watch the replay here, they're trying to keep the ball low as to not get it up in that air to have it affected so much. I think that's what's going through Eubanks' head. He knows if he gets it up in the air, the wind is going to pick it up, and he's afraid it might not go where it's supposed to. So I think he's trying to overcompensate a little too much.
Back in there to punt the ball away. Hampton bouncing goes out of bounds about the 35, 36-yard line. So the Phantoms will have the ball first and 10 at their own 36.
Bob,
no score here in the second quarter of play.
Bob, if you can hear me, is that making any sense, the fact that he might be trying to keep it low, to keep it out of the effects of the wind?
Well, that wind is going to affect it, but it's not going straight down the field. It's coming at an angle, almost from the corner to the 50-yard line, not even at a direct angle. So if you put the ball up there in the air and let one of those gusts hit it, a receiver's not even going to get it. He's not even going to come close, and if you've got a double coverage down there, one of the defensive guys could pick it off very easy.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Henderson hands the ball off, I believe, to Pittman up the middle to about the 39-yard line. He will pick up about 3 on the play.
Tony Pittman, the junior running back for the Phoebus Phantoms. I got a chance to meet him one day this past week. Really nice young man. I'll tell you what, he's built like a football player. He is a very strong runner, very smart runner.
Second down and a long 6. Call it second 7 now for the Phantoms. Looks like the Phantoms are going to call timeout, and that'll leave each team with 1 here in the first half. As we're at the 9:35 point here of the second quarter, no score between the Crabbers and the Phantoms.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching LSC live from Darling Stadium. And you can watch us on Cox Channel 48, Verizon Fios Channel 22. Guys, you can also watch us on the internet. If you go to the Hampton City School System website, you can click on WHCS on the right-hand side. It'll take you to a new window where you can click on LSC. A little box will drop down on the left-hand side, and you can see us right there. Plus, we also just kicked off our own Facebook page on the internet. Yeah, you heard me right, Mike. We are on Facebook. Local Sports Channel, Facebook. Visit us. You can talk to us right there, and I think Scotty himself will even write back to you. Make sure you like us on LSC Local Sports Channel's Facebook page.
Second down and 7, and there's another fumble right there on the snap. They're going to call him down at the 38, so he's going to lose. He'll lose about a yard and a half on the play.
This is another good example of what great camera crews and shots we get as you watch the replay. We're right down on the field, and you can see the ball coming out right there. Our cameramen know just where to go almost on every play, and it's so impressive to me to be able to sit up here and watch the monitor and see everything I need to see.
That's at least the third, maybe even the fourth time we've seen one of the Phantoms quarterbacks. Is it the third time? The third time the Phantom quarterback has actually fumbled a snap here in the first half. 3 wide outs, 2 to the near in the I formation. Pittman is deep. Henderson back, hands the ball off on a draw to Pittman. Not much there as he is brought down with a gain maybe up a half a yard, and that's it. So that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6. See where they mark it.
Chris Flood, number 55, got that one again, Mike. You're not going to fold this young man too many times. We called his name a lot a couple of weeks ago, and he's right there again. But the first man that hit him, he missed his number, but he slowed him down just enough to where Chris Flood comes in and just keeps him from going anywhere.
The Phantoms will punt the ball away. A real short punt as it bounces out of bounds at about the Hampton 49.
I think somebody got a hand on that one. I'm getting a report that Bob Hintz is saying that somebody's hand got in there and deflected that one just a wee bit. There we see some of the players down on the field for the Crabbers. You can tell they're proud Hampton Crabber young fans.
Let's see if we can see this.
A 13-yard punt. Not very far. Here's the kick. Yeah, it looked like the guy who's just coming down on your screen there, and he's sideways, so I can't get his number. I apologize. Looks like he got his left hand on that ball. Camera shots again.
Ogdell and Williams in the backfield. Eubanks behind center. 3 wide outs, 2 to the far side, back to pass. Passes over the middle. It's complete inside the 40.
That looked like Moore who made that catch for the Crabbers. That would be number 1, Daquan Moore. Again, Eubanks having a tough time with his footing back there. This is a nice pass. He kept it up high. Good catch by Moore. And he was wide open right over the middle.
So first down and 10 at the 36-yard line. Deepest penetration by the Crab by either team tonight. Well, no, the Phoebus was deeper than that when they missed the field goal. Williams on the handoff off the left side, inside the 35 down to about the 33. Give him 4 on the play, second down and 6.
Marshawn Williams again, the young sophomore, taking the ball off the left-hand side. He's probably going to be their main ball carrier all night long. They'll soften up the line with him, and then they'll shoot somebody to the outside. But he's going to be the man. I tell you what, this kid, Mike, is going to be something here in the coming years. You remember that name, Marshawn Williams. Ooh, he got popped there.
Popped right at the line of scrimmage, no gain on the play.
It was like running into a wall. I don't know who got him, and he just got
What
zapped.
you got down there, Bob, besides a lot of wind?
Hey, besides the win, let me tell you what happened that time. The defense knocked the offensive lineman back into the runner before the defensive man hit him. So the big
Yep, they
pop
showed it on the
was-
replay.
Wow, I tell you what, a lot of popping going on down here, guys. Neither one of these teams are giving up.
That's exactly what happened, Bob, and you read that one perfectly. And as you were talking about it, they were showing the replay, and you could see it, and it was just a bam.
3rd down and 6 now.
Well, I'm not quite sure what they wanted to do on that other than throw the ball, and he got swamped under, he being Eubanks.
Let's
As
see
you
if we
watch
can
the
watch this
replay,
again.
he gets the ball, takes a couple of steps back, gets ready to pop it, and he gets hit from the top across his arm, gets away to the right, tries to throw it again, and somebody grabs his arm again, and that ball just dies about 2 or 3 yards away.
Well, it'll be 4th and 6. The Crabbers will continue to play here, and they'll go for it. Back in the shotgun is Eubanks. 4 wideouts, 2 on either side. Back to pass. Good passing is complete down inside the 20.
I tell you what, Phoebus was in a pass defense that time. They had about 6 or 7 people back.
Watch this zip on the ball.
Good footing that time. Look at this. Boom, right in there. That you couldn't have run over and handed it to him. And look where we are with our cameras, right in the face of the whole play.
Jamal Brown on the reception. 1st and 10 for the Crabbers at the Phantoms 22-yard line. And the ball off, I believe that's to Cogdale, right up the middle. He will get inside the 20 down near the 18. Gain of about 3.5. We'll call it 2nd down and 7 on the play.
Cogdale at 6'2", 222, can hit and really hit hard and pick up some yardage when you need it. You're down in the red zone right now. You got to go with your bread and butter. And that's the run. And you look for Marshawn Williams to take a couple of runs here, and then Cogdale, or as they like to do a couple weeks ago, you bring in Newsom and let him take it to the zone.
2 wideouts to the far side. We'll call a timeout. I believe that was one of those plays where they were attempting to try to draw him offside. And nothing doing with 5:25 to go here in the second quarter. Play still scoreless here at Darling Stadium between the Hampton Crabbers and the Phoebus Phantoms.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching LSC, the local sports channel on Cox Channel 48, Verizon Fios Channel 22. 20, is it 23 now?
It's now 23.
We keep putting 22 on here. It's 20. I haven't scratched this down here. Eubanks now 3 for 9, 35 yards and 1 interception so far in this game. I give him credit, Mike. He keeps trying to throw the ball. He keeps, I say he's getting the plays, of course, from the coaches, but they're trying to throw the ball here as they're going with the wind.
That was Hampton's last time out of the first half.
Bobby and Doris Walton right there on our screen. You see them here for this game. They've been Crabber fans for, well, let's just say for quite a long time. And you can see the rest of the fans around them as we have a real great crowd here tonight on both sides of the field.
2nd down to 7 now for the Crabbers. Team's on a pitch out around the right side, inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line, and that'll be a 1st and goal for the Crabbers.
That couldn't have been a better call for the Crabbers. Watch the blitz coming from this near side. See it right there? It was Boombox Lyles coming from that right side, and that left an opening behind the line, and Marshawn Williams took advantage of it. So watch for Cogdell on this one.
1st and goal now for the Crabbers at the 7-yard line. Deepest penetration by either team so far in the game. A blitz up the middle. Williams on the left side again. There he is. He fumbled the ball away. No, they're giving him a touchdown. He scored before he lost control of the ball. Wow.
Well, either way,
score on a 7-yard run.
Let's see how he does. Once again, it looks like they had the blitz coming. Williams took us almost the same play.
I believe he tried to reach out. Well, all we can see is a hat right there.
He hit the Phoebus defense and just bulls them over right there. Let's see if he can get in there.
That's what he did. He reaches
lost
across.
it just as he got over. In my humble opinion, it doesn't really matter because Cogdell picks it up and runs it in anyway. So
the extra point by Staub is good, and the Hampton Crabbers strike first with 4:52 to go here in the second quarter as the Crabbers now lead 7-0. Bob, you say you got something down there for us?
Yeah, guys, I was watching those two plays, the fourth down that they picked it up and then the touchdown. The linebacker on the right side for the Phoebus Phantoms shot the gap and took himself out of the play on both of those occasions, and that's why they first picked up the first down and then they scored. That was a great drive by the Crabbers.
And that opened up the left side of the Crabbers line pretty good on those two plays, didn't it?
Yeah, they really
There's
did,
the
but they really took themselves out of it when they shot that linebacker.
good replay there as we got it from a different angle, and you can see that one very, very clearly as everything was open right there. So far, Marshawn Williams with about 6 carries and 15 yards. Cogdell 3 carries and 12 yards. Phoebus so far has 9 yards rushing, nothing passing. On that drive for Hampton, it was a 7-yard run by Marshawn Williams after 7 plays and 52 yards, consuming 3 minutes and 17 seconds, putting the Hampton High School Crabbers on the board first in this game that we're bringing you live from Darling Stadium.
Bob kicks off for the Crabbers as it is lost control and it bounces into the end zone. So the Phantoms will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Mike, can you think of the last time we had 4 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first half and Phoebus had 9 yards rushing?
It's been a lot of years.
Watch this touchdown again. I like this new replay system, folks. We got about 3-4 different angles, and look at that. Look how he covers that ball up. Good coverage for you young running backs. Gets to the goal line, knows he's got to break the plane, puts it out over there, and has it there just enough time to be called for a touchdown. Really good, smart football there by the young running back, Marshawn Williams.
1st and 10 Phantoms at their own 20-yard line. Henderson in at quarterback. House back, hands the ball off to the deep back, and there is a flag thrown right here. And I believe it was handed off to number 21 on the play, Belfield.
Correct.
We're going to have a sideline infraction by the Crabbers.
Sideline warning on Hampton. That's their first warning.
Evidently one of the coaches down there was worried about something and got a little bit overzealous, and that happens in football games.
2-yard gain on the play, 2nd down and 8.
Clock winding down to about 4:36 left in the second half.
2 wide outs to the far side in the I formation. Again handed off to Belfield. I'm sorry, yes.
That was Belfield, number 21. He was tackled there by number 55, Chris Flood. But he
is near the 30-yard line, and that's Phoebus's first down in the game.
Watch this as Belfield gets it. Look at Flood grabbing right at about the 25-yard line, and Belfield just dragged him to the 30.
1st and 10 at their own 30. Down to 4:11 to go here in the second quarter of play.
On their own 30.
2 wide outs to the far side. Henderson hands the ball off again to Belfield. Off the left side, it'll pick up about 3, maybe 4 on the play. We'll have to wait and see where the mark is.
Belfield trying to find some room off that left tackle there. Couldn't get any, so he slid down the line, and sliding with him was number 55, Chris Flood, who brought him down before he could really get anything going on that corner.
4 on the play. That'll make it 2nd down and 6.
Watch this as Anderson gives it to Belfield. He hits the line there, slides off, but look, Chris Flood right there. Stopping him on the outside, number 8.
And again, this time he hands the ball off to number 5 on the play. That's Pittman, straight up the middle. Third down after a short pickup. 3rd down and 3. Third down and 3 as the ball sits at the 30, just shy of the 38. And on a handoff straight up the middle, breaks free to about the 48-yard line, and another Phantom first down.
A little more controlled blocking by the O-line for the Phantoms this time. They're beginning to push them in, and you'll watch on the left-hand side here as Pittman gets the ball. You can see how they're stacking up that left side. Pittman was able to follow those blocks, and once he got in the open, he was able to pick up a few more yards. The first sustained drive so far for the Phantoms.
1st and 10 at their own 48. Down to 2:13 to go here in the second quarter. DeLoach in motion. Hand it off to the tailback. He'll pick up about 3 on the play inside Hampton territory to about the 49 on the play. Pittman on the carry again.
That time, Pittman just diving over tackle, trying to pick up whatever yardage he could find on that side.
2nd down and 7 for the Phantoms. The clock continues to run as we're down to 1 minute and 40 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Phoebus looking for something to break loose here before they go in at halftime. They would like to get something on the board.
Then again up the middle, he's going to pick up good yardage as he's near a first down.
Upended there by the Crabbers, looked like number 15 on that play.
Be a little bit shy of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd down in about a foot or so.
There's Pittman, and there you can see he's upended by the tackler. Like I said, I believe it's number 15, DeMontre Harper.
Clock continues to run as it reaches the 1 minute mark here in the second quarter. Anderson again, a handoff to Pittman. He will get near the 40. He's got enough for the first down. That'll continue to drive. But with only one timeout left, they're almost kind of running out of time here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, Mike, that they haven't tried to put anything up. You're running out of time. You're 7 points down. Running, but you're only getting a few yards at a time. You're eating up the clock. You're going to have to get closer than that if you want to get something on the board.
And we'll drop back to pass. Deep down the near side to Deloach, just overthrown. Incomplete pass.
That's what they needed right there, Mike. And Deloach was trying to get free, and he had about 2 steps on his coverage. And Anderson threw a good pass, but it against the wind, it just... Watch this. This is a good pass when you're against the wind. Look at the spiral on that. Just
actually
out of
a pretty
his reach. Pass. You would figure that one would die like a quail when it got near him with this wind.
2nd down and 10. There's a handoff up the middle of Pittman. He's hit at the 40. Breaks free. Hit again at the 30. And he's inside the 30 down to about the 27 or 28 yard line. And that's good enough for a first down as we're down to 26 seconds left. Phoebus does still have 1 timeout left.
That's a big play for Phoebus right there. If not
Crabbers
for
had him
Newsom,
stopped right there.
If not for Newsom, number 5, after Pittman gets loose, he could have gone all the way. Watch Newsom come. Is that Newton? I'm sorry, that's number 1, Daquan Moore, who comes up and stops him. Well, folks, there you go again. There's Deshaun Williams. And notice when he hit that line, you got to keep moving your legs. That's what he was doing. Pumping. So now they're getting closer to field goal range, and I'd say they've got a chance to run about 2 more plays.
Well, we're trying to figure out why the officials haven't started the clock now after the timeout. Let's see.
Please reset the game clock to 26 seconds. This was an official's timeout.
There you go. There you go. And I'm getting a little confused now by watching what I'm seeing here.
Well, the official said to reset the clock at 26 seconds. It never got reset. It never started on the snap. So I think everybody's confused about what's going on down there right now. Either way, it's second down at 10 after the first down.
I'm hearing people up in the booth here saying it should be a different down. It should be a different down.
Henderson will drop back to throw. He's hit as he lets go with it, and it goes right through the hands of the intended target.
Also through the hands of a Crabber defender.
Like it was intended for Pittman, number 5, as he was wide to the outside on that one. There's Anderson getting hit.
Pittman was down in the, he was in the back. That looked like, I want to say Deloach.
Deloach was standing down here on the 20-yard line.
Okay. Pittman was in the backfield. I saw him there.
The Phantoms will call a timeout here with 18 seconds left. And it is 3rd and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Very possible that the receiver for that one, Mike, was number 9, Davon Robinson. Folks, down to 18 seconds here in the second quarter, or in the first half. Score only 7-0, and Mike, it's been a defensive game. And as you like to call it, it's been a backwards game. Everybody's moving backwards the wrong way.
Here in the second quarter, it looks like both offenses got things situated and started moving the ball forward. And they were both able to get some good yardage on the play. Hampton, of course, had that great drive and scored the only touchdown so far. But the Phantoms are coming back here, and as long as the clock doesn't run out on them before they can have a chance to score. Third down at 10.
I'm thinking they maybe have one shot, one more pass at the end zone, and then they're going to have to try something. This is their longest drive so far. They've had 10 plays for 51 yards. I'm looking for a pass here, and then possibly a long field goal attempt.
Anderson in the shotgun, drops back to pass. There's Deloach over the middle, wide open, and through his hands.
That pass was a little bit high, and again, folks, it's against the wind. And you could see, and we'll probably see it on a replay in a minute here, you can see how Deloach had to twist himself to try and get to that ball and just couldn't do it. Watch as he goes up here and twist. It's kind of behind him over his left shoulder, it looked like from here.
And he was open, too.
Yes, he was.
4th down at 10 at the 29-yard line.
Hey, what, I don't know what the longest is for their kicker. It doesn't look like they're going to worry about that. They're going to go for it.
Hampton has 12 players on the field, guys.
Yes, they do. Almost 13, it looked like. But it is 12.
Hampton had 12. Well, that was the coach's fault. That wasn't the player's fault. The coaches grabbed the player on the sideline and told him to go on the field. Didn't realize that they already had 11 on the field, and they did not bring a player off. You can blame that on the coaches.
Substitution infraction on the defense. 5 yards.
They have no timeout.
4th down.
Well, that'll put them 5 yards closer to a first down here on 4th down. So they've only got to get 5, and that might change things up just a tad bit, give them another option of a run here if they wanted to. We'll see what they're going to do.
Oh, it's 4th down and 5 now as the clock sits at 13 seconds.
What do? Do you short little pass, Mike, or do you go ahead and give it to Pittman, see if he can pick up the 5?
If they pick up the first down, it'll stop the clock.
They're going to throw
Henderson back to throw. He's hit as he lets it go. It's incomplete, and the Crabbers stop him. And it'll be a first down for the Crabbers at their own 24-yard line.
I think mostly on that one, Mike, he was just trying to get rid of that ball because he knew he was going to get brought down. As you see the breakdown right there, and he just throws it in the general direction of where Ramon Deloach was. Deloach was about 10 yards further upfield from where the ball hit. So that was more of a hair.
Crabbers should down the ball here and go into the locker room with a 7-0 lead. Let's see what they do. 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line as the Crabbers defense came up big on this drive.
They did that.
Set up as their normal offense with Anderson Eubank goes back and just takes a knee as the halftime has arrived here at Darling Stadium. So at the half, the Hampton Crabbers lead the Phoebus Phantoms 7-0.
Ladies and
How
gentlemen,
long has it been since we've seen a Phoebus team be shut out in the first half?
Well, a long time. A long time.
We said the same thing a few weeks ago when Bethel shut Hampton out, remember?
Yes, we did. We did. You're watching LSC live from Darling Stadium, November the 4th, 2011 on Cox Channel 48, Verizon Fios Channel 23, as we bring you the Phoebus Phantoms and Hampton Crabber game from Darling Stadium. They haven't been able to put it into the end zone.
Let's look at one thing here, these rushing yards for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Well, let's look at two. One for the Hampton, one for Phoebus.
Well, we're going to look at this one first. They went a quarter and a half till there was 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and they had 9 yards.
Right.
So they had 51 yards on that last drive before the Crabbers defense stopped them. Maybe they found out something that they didn't know in the first quarter and a half, and we'll see here as the second quarter or third quarter will start as to whether or not they have rectified whatever problems they were having running the ball, because other than the fact that Hampton's defense was pretty staunch there in the first half, as was Phoebus's.
I think they found just a little bit of a chink on the right side of Phoebus's D-line. I think they're able to establish a block there to give a little bit of an edge for Pittman, especially with his quickness, to get there. Now, if Pittman can get there quick, and he might be taking a little step further in the set when they're getting ready to go, if he can get to that opening a little bit quicker, he's going to be able to slide through it and pick up some yards. And that's what Phoebus was doing in that last drive. Prior to that, Hampton was stacking that line up, and they weren't going anywhere.
Like you said.
And the backers were coming in and plugging the lanes. There was nowhere for him to go.
I mean, you figure out up until 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, they only had 9 yards rushing, which was unheard of by Phoebus in the last, 5 or 6 years at least.
Almost 10 years.
So it's looks like the Crabbers will be kicking off from the east end zone, so they're going to have the ball with the wind here in the third quarter of play, as the Phantoms will be receiving the ball at the goal line to the left as we look at it on the screen.
And before we start this second half, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you some of our sponsors. Tonight's game is sponsored by the Grey Goose Restaurant, located on West Queensway in Hampton. Breakfast menu items include their famous toasted buttermilk biscuits, and for lunch, try their new smoked turkey panini. Also by Rico's Pizza, located at 55 West Mercury Boulevard in the Langley Square Shopping Center. Stop in after the game and pick up a pizza or have one of their many menu items. We're also sponsored by Coliseum Central, located right in the heart of Hampton Roads between Armstead Avenue and Interstate 64. You can take care of all your shopping, dining, entertainment, medical, and business needs right here. Coliseum Central. Get central. Get center. And by Made Men Management, where Hampton athletes use Made Men Management because it's the best sports agency in the best area for sports.
Well, the Crabbers just kicked the ball off, and it's the same result from when the Crabbers scored a touchdown and kicked off. It goes off in the hands of the intended receiver. Back here, it goes into the end zone. So Phoebus will start this drive 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
I'd like to thank a lot of the members of our crew, folks, for those great shots that we had in the first half, and you're going to see more in the second. We've got Wube Grabe, Susan Bowers, Gene Wheeler, and Steve Fryer on our cameras outside where they're cold. I'm not. On the graphics and animation is Andy Foley, the slow motion replay, the new Krista Campbell, our camera control operator Renee Camden, the chief engineer Don Scharouse, Greg Lesko, the engineer, the big man, the producer, the director himself, Scotty Bowers. I'm Paul Rowe, along with Mike Hauser, Brent Musgrove, Frank Edgar, and Bob Hintz.
Pittman on the handoff. He's going to lose about a yard on the play, as the Crabbers defense over there on that right side had that one contained.
I think they learned something on that last drive, maybe. There go the Phantoms trying that same side where they're trying to find that edge out there. Mike Smith and his assistant coaches are not dummies. They're going to go in at halftime. They're going to find out what the problem is, and they're going to plug it. That's what they've done. Hampton is ready for them this time. We're going to have to see what they can do.
They'll have to keep their defensive end outside, and that's what stopped at that time.
Well, they're bringing him in tight. You can see him on the far side. He's coming in tight.
Anderson back to pass, going a little short pass over here near the 30-yard line. It's off the hands of the intended receiver, number 15 on the play, Tyler Adams. Incomplete. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 11 for the Phantoms.
On the play, you can see Anderson gets back. He sets. He's looking pretty good, even though he had that leg injury, but he just can't get that pass anywhere. And I don't blame him. There was decent coverage on that. If he tried to get it any further in, that one would have been batted down or taken by the Crabbers.
Bob talked earlier in the game about the fact that the wind is blowing catty corner across the field. And with the ball being thrown in that direction, the ball would have actually been pushed away from the receiver, which is very well could have happened on that play.
By the way, that was the Hampton Crabber mobile that we just saw on the screen.
Didn't see it. Hand off up the middle, not a lot there, as it looks like they're going to pick up about 5 on the play as Pittman will be down, and there goes a flag.
Somebody said something or did something in that pile. We'll get this all sorted out, find out what that flag is for as we watch the replay. Once again, Pittman going to the left side of their line.
He's pointing at the Hampton side, so let's see what they're going to do here. They're marking it off against the Crabbers.
That time Pittman cut inside when he couldn't get outside.
That was them that kick. Have a dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down.
Well, emphatically, the referee made sure everybody was aware that the foul was against the Crabbers. And, of course, the coaches are wanting to know what it was about. And that's a killer for the Crabbers because they had them stopped, and it was a 4th down and 6. So 1st down and 10 now at their own 39-yard line for the Phantoms.
5 penalties for 40 yards now for the Hampton Crabbers.
Henderson held the ball and is just absolutely buried by the front line of the Crabbers. He looks like he might have got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
That one looked like it was a busted play there,
Yep.
Mike. Let's watch it on the replay. Anderson goes back, and it looks like he's looking for somebody else to give it to, and there's nobody there. And in comes guess who? Number 55, Mr. Flood. And he says, "Hello, how are you? Meet the ground."
Nothing there as it'll be 2nd down and 10 as the ball still sits at the 40 or 39-yard line.
Remind me to tell you a cute story I heard about Flood concerning some pancakes.
Okay. Anderson is in the shotgun now. 3 wide outs. Pittman moves from the right side to the left side of Anderson. Back to pass is Anderson. Over the middle, the receiver fell down. Looked like the intended receiver might have been number 27.
Go ahead.
Featherston.
Who?
Featherston.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Juwantes Featherston.
Now, is it Featherston or Featherston?
Featherston.
Yeah, okay.
Featherston.
Incomplete pass, 3rd and 10 now.
Quick story, and I'm going to check with the guys in the truck. Is it okay if I repeat this? He's the
winner.
Okay, I've gotten the okay to repeat this, so give me a few minutes here, and I'll tell you this cute little story about Mr. Flood.
3 wide outs again, same setup as the last play. Back to throw, Henderson, over the middle. There's a receiver fell down and actually caught the ball on the ground. Featherston, what a catch. As 3 Hampton defenders were standing there watching the ball go into his hands.
That's what
Watch
amazed
this
me,
replay.
Mike. Anderson goes back, and once again, I'm impressed with the fact that he's able to stand up there. He gets a good throw on the ball. Look at his 1, 2, 3 defenders sitting around like, what are we supposed to do? Sharp pass. Good spiral.
Caught it sitting down on the ground. 1st and 10, Phoebus. Ball sits at the Hampton 38-yard line. Anderson to Pittman up the middle. He might gain maybe a yard as he is shy of the 35.
Tell you what, there was a lot of confusion that time on the Hampton defense as they were scrambling around trying to reset. And they're lucky that Phoebus didn't get any more yardage than they did that time. Real quick story here. Flood, number 55 for the Crabbers. There was a pancake bazaar or whatever you want to call it, Hampton High School about a week or so ago. And our producer director went there with a lot of other people. And the winner for eating the most pancakes in 3 minutes, guess, Mr. Chris Flood with 11 pancakes in 3 minutes. He was the winner.
The handoff up the middle of Pittman, nothing there. He might have got to the 35.
They're going to have to start making some changes over there, Mike, because Danny Mitchell has adjusted his defense to seal that lane. He's got, you can see it on the outside. Watch this. Look at the outside linebackers. He holds his position, stays out. They're not going to let anybody get through there. Pittman is going to have to come up in the middle, and right now the Hampton defense is standing up the outside lineman there, and they're not going anywhere.
They're down in 7 now for the Phantoms. They need to get the ball down to the Crabber 28 to get a first down. In the I formation, Deloach single wide receiver, and looks like the tight end on the left side moved early on that one. That'll cost them 5. That'll push the ball back to the 40.
That's something that the Phantoms needed right here.
False start. Offense. 5 yard. Third down.
We've got 8 minutes and 9 seconds left here in the third quarter at Darling Stadium, November the 4th, 2011. You're watching LSC live on Cable Channel 48 and Verizon Fios 23. Please remember, you can also watch us on the internet. Just go to the Hampton City School site, click on WHCS, wait for the next window, click on LSC, wait for the drop down on the left-hand side of your screen, and voila, you're watching the game live.
They're down in 12 now for the Phantoms. Back to pass. Over the middle, overthrown, almost intercepted. The ball was intended for the Phantoms' number 7 on the play, Justin Lyles. Incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and 12.
Henderson getting some good time on that one to set up the pass. Unfortunately for him, Hampton had that one covered. They had 2 backers up on the line, and they dropped back quickly to go into coverage and sealed off the middle. That forced Henderson to go up top, and he just couldn't get the ball there. See if they're going to have a punter this time. There he is.
Crabbers had to call timeout because they had 12 players on the field, and the 12th player was running off the field, and Danny Mitchell decided to go ahead and call timeout, and Mike Smith is furious.
At backwards yet?
Oh, yeah.
It's been backwards.
So the Crabbers will throw away a timeout here.
Here's Henderson as he goes back. He's got the time. He's got the look. He just can't get it there. Look at that. He throws it into triple coverage. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous.
Actually, the ball, even though the ball landed in front of number 11, I believe it was intended for the wide out that was up about 10 yards in front of him.
Think so?
Yeah. Well, oh, good one, Andy.
I agree, Andy. There's Mike Smith. There's the hat. It's backwards. It's serious time right now, folks. It's serious time.
So, 4th down and 12 for the Phantoms as they set up to punt the ball. Newsom back for the Crabbers.
Haven't been able to call his name very much this week. A couple of weeks ago, he was Mr. Everywhere and Everything. Snap. Ooh. That was pretty obvious there.
Well, unfortunately, that's going to go against them, and they're going to end up with a penalty, roughing the pass of the kicker.
We were worried it was going to be a blocked punt because it was a bad snap, and he dropped it.
Well,
But
if you look at the replay, he didn't
here,
go after the ball. He went after the leg of the player.
Yeah.
That was
here it comes. Right here. Boom. That one's going to come back, and Phoebus is going to get a first down, and they'll start all over again.
You gotta think.
That should be 15 yards from the spot in an automatic first.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker on the defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Yep, that's what it is.
Move the ball right on down into the Crabber territory at the 26, and the Phantoms will continue with this drive now after 2 personal fouls in this drive, too, by the way. 30 yards and penalties.
Let's see if they go back to Pittman on the left side.
First and down. Deloach, a single receiver to the near side. There's Pittman again to the left side. He'll pick up a couple of yards on the play as he's down to about the 24.
The days when we had Mathis and Brown. Mathis to the right, Brown to the left. Mathis to the right, Brown to the left. Mathis to the right, Brown to the left. Mathis to the right, touchdown.
That's about what it was, too.
That's exactly what it was back then. And I'm sure Phoebus is planning to one day get back to that.
Second down along 8 now for the Phantoms. And again, this time straight up the middle.
Look at that.
And he's all the way down to the 10-yard line.
For you kids that are out there watching this game, keep your eyes on Pittman. Watch him as he hits the hole. There's a hole that opens up. He sprints right through it, and then he runs right into and right over the linebacker. Watch this. Well, this is the punt here, where they get the roughing the kicker penalty.
But first and goal now as the ball just inside the 10-yard line. Anderson under center in the I formation again. There's Pittman again right up the middle. He'll get down near the 6-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. Second down and goal.
That was a good call right there. They sent their blockers left. It looked like they were going to go to the left side again. But this time, as soon as Pittman got the ball, he veered off to the right. Had just a little crease there that he was able to pick up a few yards from. Watch that. Followed the blocker right through there. Nice run by the Phantoms that time. With 6 minutes and 14 seconds winding down to 12, the Phantoms are threatening here at Darling Stadium in the third quarter. They're down by 7 points to the Crabbers.
Anderson to Pittman. Did he fumble the ball? He was able to hold on to it, but he was hit almost as soon as he handed the ball off.
He was hit hard by number 20, Kayvon Bellamy.
Going to lose about 3 on the play back to the 9-yard line, so it's going to be third and goal from the 9.
Watch Bellamy come right through there and slam him. Now, Bellamy had been hurt a lot this year, and they've been playing him mostly on defense, and right there it paid off. Nobody touched him as he came through. And that's a big boy. How do you let him through? 4 fumbles now for the Phantoms of Phoebus High School in this game. And again, when's the last time you heard Phoebus fumbling 4 times in a game? Good defense being played here by both teams.
Anderson drops back over the middle. It was intended for the receiver standing right at the goal line, and he never caught it. Looked like it was intended for number 7 on the play, Justin Lyles. That'll bring up a 4th down and goal from the 9, and it looks like they're going to send in the field goal team.
I got to give Anderson credit right here because that's quadruple coverage he's throwing into, and that's a low pass. I tell you what, that's gutsy. That's gutsy.
So it looks like they're going to try to kick the ball,
we need a holder.
goal, but unfortunately they don't have a holder. But Dylan Trent will go in there, and the Phantoms will have to call a timeout. And they just gave away the timeout that Hampton gave away earlier. Remember in the first half they went up and set up for a punt and didn't have a punter on the field.
Now they're setting up for a field goal with no holder. Ladies and gentlemen, the second half of tonight's game is being sponsored by Eric Thompson Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give him a call at 685-3127.
That would have been a good opportunity to see the old-fashioned drop kick.
Paul Horning now in.
How long has it been since that done?
That's been a long time. Paul Horning, he was a great player.
Didn't the guy do it for the New England Patriots a few years back? Yeah, he did.
We're saying, some people saying, yes, Flutie did it?
Yeah.
Flutie drop kicked it?
Drop kicked the field goal.
I don't know how you could do that. Flutie not big enough.
Now they're going for it, guys. 4th down now. Goal at the 9. Anderson back to pass. There's a pass in the end zone. Touchdown, Phoebus.
And that was number 7, Justin. Let me hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Boombox Lyles.
So Henderson hits Lyles on a 9-yard strike. That brings them to within a point here. 7-6.
And I believe this is just a straight out and a turn. And there it is, wide open. Boom. How he got back there open behind the backers, I'll never know. But he did, because he just went straight out from his tight end position and hooked a little to his left.
Rip in to attempt the extra point to try to tie the game up. Kick is up, and it looks like it is good, and we're knotted here at 7-all with 5:02 to go in the third quarter of play. Hampton 7, Phoebus 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching LSC live from Darling Stadium, November the 20th, 2011, as we bring you the big game of the year, the Phoebus Phantoms and the Hampton Crabbers. And right now, as Mike just told you, that game is tied at 7-all with 5:02 left in the third quarter. Defense, defense, defense.
And the Crabbers had them stopped.
They did that. And I tell you what, after Anderson throws that pass into quadruple coverage, he turns right around, and Lyles sneaks out there, and Anderson just puts it right where only Lyles can get it. Great pass, great catch.
And what a gutty performance by Anderson right now in this game.
I'll tell you what,
for a guy that's not even supposed to hardly be walking, you know.
And he is out there throwing the ball and throwing it well.
Some of his passes have been off target, but boy, I tell you what, they sure do look pretty.
They do. On that drive, 17 plays for 80 yards, consumed 6 minutes and 58 seconds, and culminated in a 9-yard touchdown pass to Lyles. Anderson, are you ready for this? That was the second pass he's completed tonight. He's 2 for 11 for 32 yards and a touchdown. If you're going.
I'm not saying no. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, if people only knew what went through our headphones.
So Phoebus will be kicking off the ball now as the ball gets blown off the tee again.
It is Saturday, right? No, it's Friday. I'm losing track of the day now.
The guy holding the ball is actually offsides. You see that?
I have to check with my therapist behind me and find out if he can tell whether the holder is offsides. I think he is. And we'll find out in just a second.
He didn't call it. Ball's called up to 22-yard line, straight up the middle to about the 34. Looks like Newsom on the carry, number 5, and the Crabbers will have it 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. This will be their first offensive series here in the second half, as the Phantoms held the ball for over 7 minutes there to start the third quarter of play.
And here's that kickoff. See the catch around the 22-yard line, and he'll take it about 10, 12 yards upfield before he's stopped.
First and 10, ball sitting right at the 35.
Hampton is going to have to do something on the ground here. Eubanks is having a tough time with his footing out there, so we'll see if he tries to pass, but I think they're going to need to do something on the ground.
Ball's handed off to the up back, I believe Cogdale up the middle. Nothing there. He'll pick up maybe a yard.
Stopping him on the play there for the Phoebus Phantoms was number 66, Jamar Jackson. Jackson, the tackle, came in quickly.
Tell you what, the pitch play was right there on that play.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? You saw
this
that?
Whole side of the field was wide open.
Yes. Crabbers are bringing that receiver down on the near side of the field. He's got one man going out with him.
Like they're in a man-to-man here. Single coverage to the near side. Back to pass, and it's a screen pass to Cogdale here at the 40. Works his way to about the 43, and down he goes. And his forward momentum had stopped. I believe the officials called it that way.
Everybody getting excited up here. Well, almost a screen pass there, Mike, but it's more of a little flare out, as we'll see the replay here. Cogdale just slides out of the backfield, turns. He's wide open on the near side. He'll take a couple of tacklers with him and pick up a few more yards after that catch. They called him down with his forward motion.
Third down in a yard as the ball sits at the 44.
And you can see Lyles here in a minute. He'll come in there and strip the ball out, but they've called the play dead by that point. Hampton moves at 9 yards. Here comes a blitz from the left side.
Nice second effort there. Got the first down for him.
You never stop, folks. You don't stop. If you're running back.
The ball ought to be setting the length of the football past the yard marker. Let's see where they put it at.
If you're the running back, you've got to keep moving your legs. When you need that first down and you're hit, if you don't keep driving, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's the only way that Marshawn Williams was able to pick up that first down. So you young kids, again, when you're watching this, keep your eyes on these running backs and what they do.
1st and 10 at the 45. Eubank pitches the ball back to Williams, and he almost fumbles it, gets control of it, and is able to get the ball inside of Phoebus territory down to about the 48. And that was close to losing it.
It was, but they did see something that you were mentioning just a few minutes ago, and that's this wide open field down here with a pitch to it. Williams he's quick enough to get outside and get about 5 yards on that play every time. He's a good hitter as we follow our camera shot. Hey, these guys are really doing well tonight. And I'm talking about our camera crew.
2nd and 4. Ball is at the 48-yard line.
There it is
pitch
again.
to Williams again. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage, and he is pushed back about 6 or 7 yards, but looks like he might gain a half a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 3 for the Crabbers.
Miles stopped on that play, but Mike, if you watch this, when he gets the ball for that sweep on the outside, there is a lane that cuts right back against the grain that was wide open. You could have driven a car through it. And I think he saw that, and Williams was trying to get to that when he was grabbed by the tackler. If he could have gotten back against the grain, he could have gone another 10 yards. Dogdale coming in. Looked like Williams was going out.
Pass that hit the hands. Hit him in the wrong spot, right in the hands.
Jamal Brown with some good hands, too, and that ball just popped right in there and came right back out. That was just a quick slant.
And now we've got a flag in the backfield. It looks like somebody from Phoebus might have said something, and that's going to cause Phoebus.
That was a great shot right there as we gave you a front row view of that play.
Unsportsmanlike against Phoebus. That's 15 yards. That's going to keep the drive going.
I missed that.
That happened well after the play.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. That's 15 yards from the end of the play. The result of the penalty is a first down.
And somebody must have said something after the play was over with, but Hampton's already been called for it earlier in the quarter. As a matter of fact, Phoebus's drive was a result that continued after 2 15-yard penalties.
Look at that crowd, Mike. Nobody's gone.
Well, look at the score. It's 7-7. Nobody's going to go.
This is the Hampton side, and I'm staring out at the Phoebus side, and it's just as crowded.
Eubanks hands the ball off to Cogdale, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose about 2 on the play. Nothing there.
Phantoms all over him that time. You had Lyles in there on that play. You had Mark Wilson in there. You had half the Phoebus line on that one.
Loss of about 2 on the play, 2nd down and 12 for the Crabbers. Ball sits at the 35-yard line. And they have about a minute left in this quarter with the wind at their back.
And then?
Then they're going to have to move the ball into the wind. 3 wide outs, 2 to the far side. Eubanks, nice. Oh, defensively, the Phantoms had an outstanding play right there. Looked like number 9 on the play.
Davon Robinson came right across the top there to break that up. Watch this replay. I thought for a minute there that Eubank had some running room. He couldn't get the pass off there, so he slides off to the right. I thought he was going to run. He picked up somebody out of the corner of his eye, tried to throw it. Davon Robinson came right in there to bat that one down. Sometimes you just got to suck that ball in and take what you can get, not try and force it. He tried to force it into double coverage there.
3rd down and 12. This is the passing play. He's got 2 backs standing on either side of him, 3 wide outs. There goes Cogdale in motion. Back to pass is deep. There's nobody there. Well overthrown. 39 seconds to go in the third quarter of play after that long incomplete pass.
And remember in the first quarter, same thing happened here. Eubanks is getting that pass off, but he's putting it up, and it's catching that current and going further than it needs to go. He's just overthrowing some of his receivers here when he's got them wide open. He's going to have to bring it down somehow. Of course, when he brought it down in the second quarter, it hit the ground.
Crabbers go into punt formation. Try to bottle them up here. Little pooch here to the near side. Let's see where it goes. It ended up going in the end zone. So about a 35-yard punt, and get a net of about 15 on it. As the Phantoms will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line with 33 seconds to go here in the third quarter play. All knotted up at 7 apiece here at Darling Stadium live November the 4th, 2011.
It's good. Yeah. It's really good. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed watching us tonight, and if you haven't been able to watch us tonight, try and figure this one out. Watch us again on Saturday, November the 5th at 4:30 p.m., Sunday, November 6th at 4:30 p.m., Tuesday, November 8th at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., and Thursday, November 10th at 7:30 a.m. and p.m.
There's Pittman to the near side, and down he goes. Looks like the tackler on the play, I believe, was number 12 on the play for the Crabbers, and that's Kitchens.
Kitchens wrapped him up and brought him right down. Of course, we heard a lot of screams up here about some
gain of 3 on the play,
masks, but it looked clean.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 now for the Phantoms as we come to near the end of the third quarter of play. I don't think they're going to have time to get this play off.
The question is going to be now, Mike, with the tie game 7-7, and after Phoebus's drive that ended in a touchdown, can they do it again?
Well, we're at the end of the third quarter of play. We're all tied here at Darling Stadium. Hampton 7 and Phoebus 7. Let's send it down to Bob as he's got something down there for us.
All right, thanks, guys. I've got John Jakowski down here, who used to be a catcher for the baseball team.
Yes, sir. Many years ago, back in 1984, I graduated.
All right. He's also going to help Danny a little bit as an unpaid assistant, because you got a couple guys on that team you know.
I got a few. I've got a senior this year, John Michael, who's actually doing the catching duty for the Crabbers. And I've also got a freshman, Patrick, who's going to be a third baseman, it looks like.
What kind of team are you going to have this year, Coach?
I think the Crabbers are going to be pretty good this year. They returned a lot of starters from last year. As I was telling you earlier, we had 7 guys make all district honors of one way or another, and 6 of those guys are returning, so it should be pretty tough.
Well, good enough. Well, good luck to you this year.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's go back up to the guys.
All right, thanks, Bob. As we get ready to start the fourth quarter of play here, as we're out tied up here 7-7. Yeah, I understand Hampton's baseball team is going to be pretty good this year.
Yes, they are. Not a question about that.
2nd down and 7 now. The ball sits at the 23-yard line. Henderson will hand the ball off again to Pittman. He fumbles the ball. And I believe he got it back, so that will end up being a loss on the play.
Right before that run, Pittman had 20 carries and 73 yards. He's been the horse in this. He never really was able to get hold of that at all. The transfer was just not there on that play.
And luckily got the ball back. Loss of almost 2 on the play. 3rd down and 8 now for the Phantoms. Deloach now comes up to the near side. I believe he's been shut out on receiving tonight, hasn't he?
Yes,
Deloach?
he has. They've thrown to him, I think, twice.
There's a draw play right up the middle, and he's going to pick a couple of yards up, and that's it. As he will get to about the 23-yard line, a gain of maybe a yard on the play. So the draw didn't fool the Crabbers on that play, and the Phantoms will have to set up and punt the ball away here, as it'll be 4th down and a long 6 here for the Phantoms.
Good critical stop there for the Crabbers as they keep Phoebus deep in their own territory for this punt. Then it should give Hampton good position. This after Hampton couldn't do anything with the ball and had to give it to Phoebus.
Bad punt. even with the win, as it doesn't even make midfield, as it's going to be down at the 47-yard line. So the Crabbers will have excellent field position to start this drive with 10:24 to go here in the fourth, as the score again remains the same, 7-7 here at Darlin Stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, some of the sponsors for this quarter: the Grey Goose Restaurant, located on West Queensway in Hampton; Rico's Pizza at 55 West Mercury Boulevard in the Langley Square Shopping Center; Coliseum Central in the heart of Hampton Roads between Armstead Avenue and Interstate 64; Made Men Management, where Hampton athletes use Made Men Management because it's the best sports agency in the best area for sports. Run by Justin Russell, a certified sports agent, giving you full-service sports management experience. By Tidewater Team Sports, located at Cannon Boulevard in Oyster Point. And by Kaufman and Knowles, with offices in Hampton on Cunningham Drive.
There's a draw up the middle to Williams, and he's going to get inside the 45-yard line down near the 44. Pick up 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 for the Crabbers.
And one of our longtime sponsors in the fourth quarter, Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, located at 2552 North Armistead Avenue. The funeral director, Vernon Kruger, as we watch that last play.
One of these days we're going to put that out.
That's exactly what was going through my head, Mike. That was exactly.
That's right. One of these days we're going to put those out.
When our careers are up, we're doing it.
There's a direct snap here, and he gets outside, and he looks like he's got a lot of room down the sideline. He runs out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Was it Newsom?
Newsom.
It was a direct snap in the Wildcat, and he gets all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Well, there's the sleeping giant right there, as we called his name multiple times 2 weeks ago. Newsom gets it, busts the tackle, gets to the outside. When he turns and gets that crease, he is on his way. That's a big break for the Hampton Crabbers, as they'll get that ball down deep into Phantom territory.
And Newsom is staying in the quarterback spot.
This is what they did with him last time. They put him there, and they would run him. And
yeah, Eubanks was off the field. Oh, no. Oh, and he picks the ball. Newsom got the Crabbers are lucky on this play, guys.
I'll tell you what.
Hand the ball off, he fumbled it, and Newsom was able to get the ball back.
There was a lot of confusion on the center from the get-go as we watch this. The ball comes back, and it's like they're not sure who's supposed to get it. That ball goes on the ground. It's hit by a Phantom, who then loses it and finally picked up. Was that by Newsom again that finally picked it up, Mike?
Yes.
Boy, I tell you what, that ball rolled right out of a Phoebus Phantom's hands, and that would have been a big break for them.
Newsom still in at quarterback, in the shotgun, 3 wideouts, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near. Williams beside Newsom. Williams with the ball, around the left side, tries to spin out, nothing going there, and he's down at the 21, 22, gain of a yard.
That's actually Kayvon Bellamy that took that ball.
Was it 20?
Number 20 out.
Okay.
The numbers are hard to see, but that was Kayvon Bellamy, who's been playing defense all night. He's been hurt most of the year, and they usually don't use him. But here he gets the ball on the handoff from Newsom, and he goes off the left side, pick up a yard or two.
The Eubank comes back in. 2 wideouts to the near side, 2 wideouts to the far side.
And Newsom sure created some excitement there for a play or two until they had that fumble.
Back to pass. Pass was thrown in traffic, and it's incomplete pass. And I believe it was intended for Newsom out there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 13 for the Crabbers.
Yeah, Newsom was covered like a peanut butter sandwich out there, and that ball should have never been thrown to him.
Well, they're going to attempt a field goal here. He's only setting the ball up 6 yards away from the line of scrimmage. It's awful tight.
That really is.
It's going to be a 39-yard attempt. Kick is blocked. He wasn't far enough away. So the Phantom player actually picked the ball up and is dropped at the 7-yard line. He shouldn't have touched it. He would have had the ball at least on the 20.
I'm not sure what went on there, but
well, it was a block field goal. The ball was down, will roll down to inside the 5, and the Phoebus Phantoms actually picked it up.
Let's see what happens here. The ball is blocked. He missed it. He picks it up.
When that ball became dead on the play, it should have been dead there, and the ball should be 1st and 10 at the 20. But he picked it up, and now they got 1st and 10 at their own 7.
Another break here. We'll see what happens.
Henderson on Pittman up the middle to about the 15, and he will pick up about 7 on the play.
This time Pittman got to the hole quickly, slipped through the seam, as we'll watch on the replay here. Nice block on the inside there. Nice block that broke him loose. Wish I could have caught the number.
Well, I'm still kind of dumbfounded as to why the offense for Hampton did what they did when they got down inside the 20-yard line. Instead of continuing to run their offense, they changed it up. Here's Pittman again off the right side. He gets near the 20-yard line. That'll be enough for a 1st down. So where they should have had the ball a minute ago, they have it now at the 20. 6:50 to go here in the 4th quarter play. We're still tied 7-7.
And this game has just been probably pretty close to what everybody was thinking. Here's this blocked kick again.
Well, first of all, he had the ball set up 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so he wasn't even far enough away.
Yeah, that had both you and I baffled there, but we don't know how well he kicks. Anything could have happened. Pittman now with 24 carries and 84 yards. He's the horse here tonight for the Phantoms.
Here he goes again, right up the middle. Outside the 25 to about the 28-yard line to pick up a 8 on the play. That's going to be 2nd down and 2 for the Phantoms. And the Crabbers defense is going to have to do something real quick here, because it looks like Phoebus is starting to run the ball quite well on them.
They are, Mike. After hitting the left side a few times, they go off the right side this time, as Hampton overshadowed the left side. And Pittman's picking up yardage there, and he seems to be getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
Here he goes again.
Look at that hole.
And he gets outside the 35 to about the 38. That's going to be another 1st down for Phoebus. And it looks like the Crabbers defense has gotten tired here all of a sudden.
It has, because that hole you could have driven a truck through right there, and if Pittman had any more speed, he'd have been gone in a Mercury minute.
1st and 10 Phoebus at their own 38.
.35 left in this game. It's November the 4th, 2011, live from Darling Stadium. Hampton High against Phoebus. Tie ball game.
That ball is handed up to the up back.
That looked like number 12 or 21? Is that Belfield?
No. It's 26.
26.
It's Hawkins. Malik Hawkins. As he gets a carry, he gets the ball to about the 41-yard line, pickup of about 3.
Hawkins, a 5'9", 175-pound junior for the Phantoms.
Pittman again, this time up the middle. Plenty of room there as he gets out near a 1st down, as he's to about the 47-yard line. He might be about a half a yard shy of the 1st down. And there is a player down for the Phantoms.
I know it may sound silly to some people, but it's almost as if Pittman has said, okay, guys, get on. I'm taking you. Just hang with me and give me some blocks. And he's been getting some really, really good work. Look at this good blocking down there. Looks like number 78 for the Phantoms, and I think we might know who that is there. That's Mr. Bellamy, I believe, isn't it? I mean, excuse me,
Walt Brantley.
Little Big Walt. number 78. See what happened here. Look on the right-hand side. He got his leg caught. His foot was caught right there under the other player, and he kind of twisted to his right there.
I believe he's about a half the length of a football short, and that's just correct. So it's going to be short of the first down. 4:46 to go as the ball sits at the 47-yard line. Third down, about a foot.
Yeah, folks, if you're at home sitting in warm weather watching this ball game, don't go anywhere. You may have a couple of minutes to go in and grab you a soft drink or some water and a cookie or something and come back. This one's going to go down to the wire, and you want to be here and see this one.
Henderson hands the ball off to the deep back. Pittman, he gets to the outside, and he comes all the way outside to Hampton 45, and he's going to pick up yardage down to about the 40. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 42.
He's in Crabber territory. And ladies and gentlemen, this is turning into the Tony Pittman show here right now. And you saw him. He got around that corner. Watch as he picks up speed as he goes around. Now watch as he puts his head down right here, and boom. He's going to run through him. He's going to run over him. He's going to run wherever it takes to get him clear and get downfield.
1st and 10 at the Crabber 43.
That young man is on a mission.
Pittman again, this time not a lot there as he's hit right at the, he's going to lose about a yard on the play.
Yeah, that time he had half the Crabber defense on him. They weren't going to let him out of their sight.
Well, Hampton's defense is going to have to stiffen up here because they had a 1st and 10 at their own 7. That's where their drive started, so they've moved the ball quite a bit here. They'll lose a yard on that play, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, they're running out of time as they're burning up some clock here.
This is what Phoebus wants to do. They don't want to leave any time left for Hampton to have the ball. Pittman again, this time straight up the middle, and he'll pick up maybe 2 yards on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 9 as he gets the ball near the 42.
That Hampton defense beginning to do exactly what you said, Mike, and that stiffen up a little bit there.
Yeah, they needed to do that back there, though.
Yeah, well, they didn't, so they got to do it here, and that's what they're trying to do. Pittman, on the other hand, trying to carry his team right down to the end zone.
3rd down and a long 9, just shy of 10 on the play.
3 minutes left in this game from Darling Stadium, brought to you live by LSC on cable channel 48 Cox and 23 Verizon Fios.
Big play right here, guys.
Ooh.
Henderson back to pass, and his pass is complete down to the 30-yard line to Lyles, number 7. As Lyles was falling backwards on his backside, and he caught it. As the Phantoms will continue this drive, 1st and 10 at the Hampton 30.
And there was you couldn't see it on that replay right there, but there was a great block in the backfield that kept Anderson from getting hit by the Crabber defender who was coming in. Looked like he had a clear shot at Henderson, and he was met by somebody in the backfield by the Phantoms who laid him out. That allowed Anderson to get that ball down there.
Justin Lyles must have become the favorite target of Anderson tonight because he's the only one that I think has caught a pass.
I think you're right.
Pittman again to the left side, straight up the middle. He will get inside the Crabber 25 to about the 24. Gain of 6 on the play.
You know what we're watching here?
We're watching a team kill the clock and go in and try to win the game.
We're watching old Phoebus football. We're watching old Hampton football where they just get it and smash mouth right into you. Here we come. Stop us. This is old school football right here, folks.
Essentially what's happening right now is the Phantoms are holding on to the ball and letting the clock continue to run, and they're going to try their darndest to keep the Hampton offense from getting or having any time left in the game. Lyles, Pittman again up the middle as he stopped short of the 20, and look at him.
He keeps going.
But they're going to mark him at the 20 as his forward motion stopped at that point.
Yeah, clock winding down, less than a minute and a half in this game. I think Phoebus is going to keep it on the ground here. They're close enough for a field goal attempt. they're going to try and get it closer and closer. Pittman now with 31 carries and 124 yards right before that last run. He'll add a few more to that. And this stadium is really starting to rock, Mike. The players are up. The fans are up. The coaches are pacing the field. Everybody.
So he's short of a first down by a yard. It's 3rd down and 1. The ball's at the 21-yard line.
This building is shaking.
As we're inside a minute and 20.
Bob, I hope you're okay down on the field there.
Man, the press box is shaking right now. Deloach wide to the left in the I formation. Again, the ball this time's handed off to the up back. There's enough for a first down as he's down to about the 15-yard line. I believe that's number 40 on the carry that time, and that's the Badger for the Phantom.
I think that might be the first time he's carried the ball tonight.
We're inside a minute. Ball's at the 18-yard line. The Phantoms still have 2 timeouts left.
Notice on that Crabber defense when they're tackling now, they're tackling the ball. You got to do that. You got to try and get that ball loose.
They need to stop him from advancing now. Here's Pittman again, right straight up the middle down near the 10-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards shy of the first. It's going to be 2nd down, and the Phantoms will call a timeout with 30 seconds left in the game, and the ball sits right dead in the middle of the field on the 10-yard line.
Crabber's going to find some way to stop this Tony Pittman show, because if they don't, that young man is going to take that ball right to the house. And that Crabber defense has been stifling all night long. This is the first time that they have gotten this kind of output. And, Mike, we're going to have to start talking about some players of the game here. And we've got all sorts of them. There's no question about that one. This is our first game for Phoebus High School that we've been able to do. So we're going to be giving 2 shirts to the Phoebus Phantoms players, because this is the first and probably only game we'll do in the regular season for the Phantoms. So, Mike, we're going to give 1 on offense and 1 on defense for the Phoebus Phantoms. Just been given a note that Pittman now with 33 carries and 135 yards.
30 seconds to go. Second down and 2 at the 10. Anderson.
Guess who?
Pittman to the middle of the field as he's down to inside the 5, or they'll mark it at the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal with 24 seconds left. And I agree with all.
You agree with all of those? All right. I'm going to hold just to be on the safe side here before I announce anything for players of the game.
22 seconds left, and the ball is snapped and downed by the Phantoms. So now it'll be 2nd goal at 5, and no time went off the clock.
And here's that previous play as they give it once more to Tony Pittman now. Young man's got 135 yards, and like I said, he is just shouldering his team and taking them down the field. In case this game gets over here quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our cameramen tonight, Wube Grabay, Susan Bowers, Gene Wheeler, and Steve Fryer, on their stupendous job of getting wonderful shots.
Henderson hands the ball off. He's down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and goal. And Phoebus will call timeout. That'll be their last timeout.
They've got some decisions to make here. 13 seconds. I think they get time for one more play.
Left. That's correct.
I don't think they have a timeout left. I thought that was their last one. So Phoebus has one more timeout. All right, Phoebus has one more timeout, so they're in good shape. They got time for one more play. And if they don't get into the end zone, they can set up the field goal.
Looks like they're going to set up for the field goal right now.
What down is it?
Well, that's what I said earlier. They were using the clock right here to move the ball down the field. They didn't want any clock left on the any time left on the clock if the Crabbers were able to possibly get the ball back. And right now, 3rd down and goal
Help me out on
That was
this.
Phoebus' third and final charge timeout.
They did use it. That's what I was afraid of. That was their
last one. So the question is,
tell me, high school. If you attempt a field goal on third down and you don't make it, you still get fourth down?
No, not if they miss it. So it looks like Anderson is going to come in here and attempt to kick the winning field goal.
Well, this is going to be amazing. Here's a kid that's had an injury to his groin, and they're going to try and kick the field goal for the game winner right here. And it's blocked.
And unfortunately for the Crabbers, it was blocked, but there was a player on the left side of the line that jumped offside.
Pattern snap. Encroachment on the defense. We'll go half the distance of the goal. Replay the down. Please reset the game clock to 13 seconds.
Oh, man, what a last minute of play here, huh? Anderson has his field goal blocked, and they're going to get to do it again. This is the same thing as an extra point attempt.
So it's coming down to this, Mike. 13 seconds. Anderson.
It was blocked again. So we may end up going into overtime here. Holy cow.
2 seconds left at Darling Stadium, November the 4th, 2011. And folks, we're all tied up at 7 apiece as Anderson tries to get this kick up. He's got about 2 people right there that he has to get it through. And from the middle, that looks like number 32, Cogdell, blocks that one. There you see Cogdell jumping up because he knows that in the middle of the line, he was able to get a piece of that ball, denying Phoebus any chance
2
of
blocked
getting that
field
field
goals
goal.
in 13 seconds, guys. 2 blocked field goals by the Crabbers. And one offensive play will turn this into an overtime game.
Well, I think at this point here, you've got to make it an overtime game. You don't try and throw this one away. Phoebus is going to be in the prevent. You just got to set it down. They did block it. They bent. But when crunch time came up, they were right there. And Cogdell got in there and swatted that ball away.
Well, let's continue the rules on the overtime. Each team will get the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And there will be no running clock. They will still have the 25-second play clock, so to speak, even though they don't have a clock here. The officials keep it. So they do have a chance of delay of games if they don't get the plays in on time. But there is no running clock, and each team will have 4 downs or get a first down to continue to score. If the team's defense is able to stop the other team and the defensive team eventually scores, they could win the game. It's not a first team to score. It just so happens that both offenses get the ball and they equal attempts to score on the game. And I tell you, we expected this to be a good ball game, but my goodness, who expected this to end up like this?
I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there somewhere that says, yeah, I knew it was going to be just like this.
Right.
Yeah, right. Right. I've heard anything from 31-0 to 14-7 to 7-6. But this is what it is, 7-7
well,
going into overtime.
Was pretty close.
Yeah, 7-6 was pretty close. Our crew that's been here all night is going to be here with us for overtime. Wube Grebe, Susan Bowers, Gene Wheeler, and Steve Fryer on the camera. And they're the ones that give us these shots that we use for the replays, set up by Krista Campbell, our slow motion instant replay person. Our graphics and animation, as always, Andy Foley. The camera control operator, Renee Camden. The chief engineer, Don Sherrouse. The engineer, Greg Lesko. The big man, the producer, the director, who sets up shots like this for us to show you, Scotty Bowers. I'm Paul Rowe, along with Mike Hauser, Brent Musgrove, Frank Edgar, Bob Hintz on the sideline, bringing you tonight's game, the Hampton-Phoebus rivalry, live from Darling Stadium, November the 4th, 2011.
Well, we had our MVPs picked of the game, but
I guess We'll have to. I mean, it may not change. May not change. And I've lost my paper now. What do they do with our players?
Huh?
Well, we think it's going to be this unless something changes. But I've got a feeling if something changes, it's going to be changed by one of those.
So we'll have to see how it comes out now with the coin flip, as both captains are out there now with the officials. Hampton is the home team, so the Phoebus player will get to call the coin, the flip of the coin. The official is explaining to both captains what the overtime rules here are.
I just got this stat from our stat reporters here. In the second half, Hampton High School only had the ball 2 times for 39 yards. That's the ball control that Phoebus had in this second half. That's how much the game changed from the beginning.
It looks like they're going to have the ball at the west end zone. So the offense will have the ball with the win.
I was going to say, tell them why they chose that west end zone.
Well, they didn't tell us who had it.
The overtime period will start with Phoebus on offense. 1st and 10, or 1st and goal from the 10 at this end zone.
And the wind is really picking up out there, Mike. I was watching some paper and other things blowing along, and I looked up at the streamers on the goalpost, and they are just standing out there.
So each team has 4 downs to score from the 10-yard line. Yeah, that's right. The college starts at the 25. High school starts at the 10.
10, yeah.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 10. 4 downs the Phantoms have, and we're going to probably see Pittman, and more Pittman.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to guess that
he's going to throw for a touchdown.
Since Phoebus has it first, it will be somebody called Pittman.
Don't be surprised.
Let's ask our crowd. Mike Satterley, who do you think is going to get the ball? Pittman. Justin? Pittman. Brent, who do you think is going to get it? Who do you think is going to get it for Phoebus?
Justin Lyles on a pass.
Who do you think is going to get it for Phoebus? He probably called Pittman too.
All right, here we go. Henderson in there as Pittman is the tailback. There's the handoff to Pittman off the left side. He'll pick up about 4 as he gets down near the 6-yard line.
And Johnny, who got that ball?
Pittman. As he had 135 yards, and the majority of those were on that last drive.
I think that was corrected to 142, 143. 146 now.
So 2nd down and goal at the 6. Pittman off the left side again. He stopped at the 5. He gets far. It looks like, did he bump the ball?
I think he did lose the ball. One of the refs here is shaking his hand up and down like he's down.
See, Bob.
Fellas, he didn't lose the ball till he went down. They took it out of his hand. He's on the 4-yard line. But I tell you, they are hitting out here.
Replays of it. He was losing possession before he went down.
Oh, Bob, you should see the replay.
We don't have replay down here.
We do up here.
Yeah, they got the ball down on the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 4.
It is cold, baby.
It's warm up here, Bob.
Pittman straight up the middle and stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like he's going to go down and he's dragged back. And it'll be 4th and goal outside the 3-yard line.
I tell you, this Crabber defense in the second half has been pushed this way and that way, and they just won't give up. And this was a big-time stand right here because Pittman has just been having his way. And look at that. They grab him, and then everybody jumps right in on top of him, and they're not going to allow Pittman to get anywhere.
They're going to go for a field goal this time, and they've got the young man that kicked the extra points in there kicking now as Henderson is out of the game.
This is
Crimp getting ready to kick the field goal. Kick is down. It's up, and it is good. Well, he was able to get the ball up over top of the Crabbers line, and he scored the field goal, and that gives Phoebus a 10-7 lead.
I tell you what, right now, if I'm Phoebus coaches, I'm wondering why I didn't do that before.
Well, I think everybody
you
up
asked
here
that
is asking the same question.
Yeah. Why? Well, tell me why she cried.
A touchdown for the Crabbers will win it for them.
That's correct. And here we watch the field goal again. Look at this nice. He just chips this thing right up. He's not even worried about how far he had to go because he knew all he had to do was get it up in the air and the wind would take it.
All right, here's the Crabbers now, first and goal at the 10.
I'm guessing Marshawn Williams.
He needs to come wide then.
Oh, no, they go cross.
Togdale up the middle. He gets down inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. He'll pick up about 3. Second down and goal from the 7.
I think Phoebus was thinking Marshawn Williams that time, too, because they cut across the grain on that one and picked up a few yards.
He was stopped at the line of scrimmage and was
right there. Hit ran into his own man.
Stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, he ran into his own man there. You're watching overtime at Darling Stadium. Phoebus 10, Hampton 7.
They're going to try to draw him off sides?
I think he saw something he didn't like.
He went up there. He was going to try to draw them off sides with that.
That wasn't a very good job of trying to call it all sides right there. I really think he saw something he didn't like.
So Hampton calls timeout. That'll leave the Crabbers with 1 here in overtime as the Phantoms used up theirs. Second down and goal. Ball sits at about the 7.
Well, Mike, here it is. Second down for the Crabbers. Fans are going crazy. You can hear them stomping on the stands out in front of us, below us.
Looks like he wanted to throw the ball, but wasn't able to get anything going there.
That
He'll
looked
end
like
up losing a couple yards on the play.
That looked like a completely busted play. He couldn't find anybody open. The Phantoms had everything covered with a warm, wet blanket in the secondary. The best thing for him to do would be to run.
Now they've moved the ball to the near hash mark, too, so a field goal attempt, if they don't score here, will, unless they can move it back to the middle of the field, will make it kind of difficult here. Anyhow, Eubanks is in the shotgun.
They're going to have to run the option
beside
here.
him. Williams with a handoff. As the Hampton Crabbers have won this game by a score of 13-10 in overtime. What a game here at Darling Stadium, live.
And that hole was so big, Mike Satterley could have walked through it himself in his head.
Here's the replay. Watch this.
Just a straight draw. Look at the block up there up front. Look at that by number 77 and 52. As they picked that man off and pushed him out of the way. And Williams just strode into the end zone. Touchdown, Crabbers.
They were, they had to be looking for a pass on that. Let's go with their, I wouldn't change them. Leave them the way they are. So the final score here at Darling Stadium in overtime, the Hampton Crabbers have defeated the Phoebus Phantoms by a score of 13-10. And that stops the 6-0 drought by the Crabbers as the Phantoms had won 6 straight games here in the rivalry.
The first time in 6 years that the Hampton Crabbers have beaten the Phoebus Phantoms. And ladies and gentlemen, our players of the game. First time in 6 games. I'm sorry, first time in 6 games, not 6 years. Our players of the game for the Phoebus Phantoms, Lyles and Mr. Get on My Back and Take Me Pittman. And for the Hampton Crabbers, Flood. And the man who scored the winning touchdown, Marshawn Williams.
Yeah, Williams carried the load for the Crabbers, and Pittman carried the load for the Phoebus Phantoms during this game. And I tell you what a great game. We end this thing in overtime, and you can't ask for a better final game of the regular season. And because of the outcome, folks, the #1 seed in the Eastern Region, Division 5, will be the Hampton Crabbers, and the #3 seed will be the Phoebus Phantoms. What a night.
If you weren't here, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you were watching on LSC, because this was the game that you wanted to see. This is the one that everybody was planning to see for years. It was right here in Darling Stadium tonight. The Hampton Crabbers, pressure defense, good offense, solid running. The Phoebus Phantoms, pressure defense, solid offense, good running. It was the team that got the breaks that would finally take this one. It was Hampton's defense that would bend and bend and bend, but not give up, that blocked the field goal, that gave the ball to Marshawn Williams and said, take us home, we're tired.
Let's think about something happened in this game. In regulation towards the end of the fourth quarter, Hampton had the ball and was driving down the field. Got the ball down to the 20-yard line in the 1st and 10, and all of a sudden they decided to change their offense, and it didn't work. The Phoebus Phantoms stopped them. They attempted a field goal. It was blocked. And instead of Phoebus having the ball at the 20-yard line, the Phoebus player ran back and picked the ball up, was tackled at their own 7-yard line. They proceeded to drive the ball from their own 7-yard line down inside the 5-yard line on in 1st and goal. The Hampton Crabbers stopped them on 4 consecutive plays. They were able to try a field goal and missed twice as the Crabbers blocked 2 field goals. My goodness, and I tell you what, if you want to watch this thing again, especially the last quarter of the game, what a game.
Well,
and then the Crabbers end up winning it in overtime on a 3rd down and long.
Well, you're going to have to watch it again anyway, because this is a game well worth watching. We'll be broadcasting this game again on Saturday, November the 5th at 4:30 p.m., Sunday, November the 6th at 4:30 p.m., Tuesday, November the 8th at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., and Thursday, November the 10th at 7:30 a.m. and p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, November the 4th, 2011, the Hampton Crabbers have just defeated the Phoebus Phantoms, and you saw it here live from Darling Stadium from up in the booth. I'm Paul Rowe along with
Mike Hauser.
Good night, everybody.
Today's game was sponsored by the Grey Goose Restaurant, located on West Queens Way in Hampton. Enjoy the wide selection of breakfast and lunch dishes, sure to please your appetite. Follow the Grey Goose Restaurant on Facebook, the restaurant that's also a bakery. Coliseum Central. Coliseum Central is located right in the heart of Hampton Roads, between Armistead Avenue and Interstate 64. You can take care of all your shopping, dining, entertainment, medical, and business needs right here. Who will represent you? Hampton athletes use Made Men Management because it's the best sports agency in the best area for sports. Rico's Pizza, located at 55 West Mercury Boulevard in the Langley Square Shopping Center. Rico's Pizza is sure to hit the spot after the game. Call 723-6850 today to place your order. Tidewater Team Sports, located at 11839B Cannon Boulevard in the Oyster Point section of Newport News. Tidewater Team Sports is your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. Today's game was sponsored in part by Attorneys at Kaufman and Knowles, with offices in Hampton on Cunningham Drive across from Peninsula Town Center and in Newport News at City Center. Kaufman and Knowles. We can and we will. Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, located at 2552 North Armistead Avenue. The funeral director is Vernon Kruger. Beach Hardware, located at 1951 East Pembroke Avenue in the Buckrow Shopping Center. Beach Hardware is your friendly local hardware store with everything you need to maintain your home inside and out. Eric Thompson, Realtor. Contact Eric to buy or sell a home or property. Give Eric a call at 685-3127 or email him at eric@findhrhomes.com.